Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you folks so much for joining us. Good God, are we excited for today. We have a crazy episode. We had a week off.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I spent my week off being ill and still holding some lingering effects here. So I apologize for sounding like shit today. Yeah. But the story is, it's insane. It's one of these stories it's a saver. I've been saving it for a while, where it's just so much fun and so crazy. We've had a couple of stories in a row that were pretty dark and pretty heavy, which were awesome. They were great stories, but I mean, this is going to be a pace changer right here. This is a wild, crazy 70s. This whole story has a big giant afro on it, man.
Fantastic.
So let's have a ball with that shit. And but before we get to that, we do have to do a little bit of house cleaning. Thank you guys for everything this week. Thank you especially for your reviews. Yeah. Very important. Those Apple Podcasts, purple icon. We don't know why they're important. We've yet to figure that out, but for some reason it affects the rankings and the ratings of, top shows and your categories is based partly on your reviews. So if you haven't done that yet, please get on there. Apple Podcasts, give us a review. 5 stars would be wonderful. Doesn't matter what you say. You can say these guys have me in a headlock and they're about to give me a noogie if I don't give them a review. That's fine. We'd take that. It works. It works just as well. I think on Stitcher too, you can leave reviews and that helps as well. So thank you guys for everybody that does that. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes.
My goodness, for all of your crime and sports and your small town murder needs. Listen to Small Town Murder if you're not listening to it, because it's this except with a small town and a murder. So there's no reason to not listen to that if you like this. Check that out, and you can get all the merchandise and you can get tickets.
Right.
Oh, there's so many tickets to these live shows.
Those are such a big deal.
They are. They help us out a lot, and my daughter's going to college this year, so please buy these tickets because it's expensive. Now, there's actually shows selling out left and right here. I think there's like 8 tickets left in Seattle, and they're all singles. Boston's gone.
Same thing.
There's like 10 tickets. They're all singles up in the balcony.
Sacramento's sold out.
Sacramento's sold out. Salt Lake's sold out. Denver's sold out. First show, Portland's sold out. Second show's getting there. It's almost there in Portland. I know Brooklyn's going fast. Let's get on these. So guys, get on these tickets and come see us out there. It's going to be a ball. And if you want to be a bigger hero to us, and these are our producers. So, I mean, these are more than heroes. We consider them part of the whole thing that goes on here. Right. If you want to be one of these producers who we're going to talk about in great gushing detail at the end of the show, you can do that very easily by going over to patreon.com/crimeandsports, or you can head over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com, and make a one-time donation there. And thank you guys for everything you do for us. Thank you for everything you've done for us all year. Yeah. And thank you guys. You guys were sending us like Christmas donations.
Unbelievable.
You guys are so nice to us, and we are just blown away. Thank you. We're so appreciative of it. Thank you guys so much. And let's get down to this business here of the show, because it's crazy, Jimmy. It's a lot of crazy, and it's a New Year's Eve show. The show's going to come out on New Year's Eve, so we feel like it needs to be a party. We can't have something that's going to bring people down. Oh my God, what did they buried her in the desert? Jesus Christ, that's depressing.
It's got to be lights and disregard.
Discovered by campers with her, half dismissed. No, oh God, a surfboard bag. Jesus Christ, no, none of that shit. We're gonna go just as crazy, but wow, just an entertaining, different direction this week. So let's get down to it with he's a star, boy. Yeah. Let's get our star of the week here.
Right.
It's a man named James Williams.
No.
You don't know who he is, right?
Never heard.
And he sounds very
vanilla.
Run of the mill.
Yeah.
James Williams.
Yeah.
He's an
Could be
accountant.
anybody.
Could be anybody.
Everybody knows one.
My insurance agent, James Williams, told me, yada, yada. And you could fill in the fucking blank, and you never doubt it for a second, right? But what if I gave you his nickname also?
Oh, boy.
Then it's going to be different. James Fly Williams.
No, that's all he got?
Fly, though, in the 70s?
Didn't we have one already in the 70s that was Fly?
Yeah, him.
It was Sly Williams.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Didn't we have Sly Williams?
We had Sly with the aggressive anal wart.
Right.
I didn't hear that. He had aggressively nasty anal wart. He called into basketball. You don't hear people call into work, but you don't hear guys call it into the game much. He called into basketball sick one day because of, quote, aggressively nasty anal warts that he couldn't get rid of.
Can't sit on the bench with those.
I just can't do it, man. And they were like, wow. So if you listen to that episode, by the way, it's back. Jesus, I don't even remember, in the 40s, I think, or 50s of episodes.
So we've got Fly Williams and Sly Williams.
Fly. Now, man, this Fly is a legend. Fly is a New York City playground legend.
Yeah.
And also kind of a legend of the ABA of the 70s here. And his style, he's an icon, this guy, put it that way. To earn the nickname Fly, if you're the Fly, in New York, then that's a good thing. And we'll find out how he got these nicknames and everything else. He's born, and by the way, I think he's a junior.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll tell you why later, but I'm pretty sure he's a junior. But I couldn't get exact documentation, but 99% sure he's a junior, and it makes perfect sense. Behavior's all junior, and then later on it rolls downhill, and there's just junior on junior action going on here. Not good. Not in a sexual way, Jimmy. Jesus Christ. In a legal crime and sports way. This isn't fucking incest in sports.
Right.
Hi, hello, and welcome to Incest in Sports. We've had a few.
Yeah.
Buck Zumhoff would have qualified.
He would have loved it.
It would have just every week. Tell you more about Buck Zumhoff.
Oh, boy.
He's disgusting.
Jesus.
That's another episode you should listen to if you want to get nauseous.
What a dripping. He dripped with gross.
He was disgusting.
Yes.
So he's born back February 18th, 1953.
Okay.
So we're talking, he's an older guy now here. Now, he is from Brooklyn. By the way, which we will be with Small Town Murder on what date is it? May the 23rd. We'll be in Brooklyn at Murmur. And there is the name of the place.
Looks great.
And check that out. That's going to be fun. So anyway, he's from Brooklyn. He grows up. This is the thing. We're going to be in Brooklyn performing a show. Right. Because Brooklyn is nice now.
Yeah.
Brooklyn was not always nice.
No.
Like now, places where people are confidently push their baby carriages now. When I was a teenager, we're not talking 60 years ago. When I was a teenager, they would have been killed immediately. After they're robbed and then possibly thrown in the river.
Yeah.
Like no, you couldn't just walk around fucking Greenpoint.
Right.
Like that wasn't okay.
There's a reason Spike Lee takes street cred and being from Brooklyn. Today,
a lot
being
of people
from Brooklyn is no big deal.
There's still a lot of shitty places in Brooklyn.
It's not near as dangerous.
It's also like, Brooklyn's trendy.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we're going there. It's like, it's trendy. It's not as much of a pain in the ass to get into as Manhattan. It's it's so much easier. No, back then it was Brooklyn. Jesus, why the fuck are you going there? Are you buying drugs? Or are you selling drugs? As your grandmother lived there? Those are the only three reasons why you have to go to Brooklyn. drugs, grandma.
Right.
That's it. So now it's way different. Like now Williamsburg has been like, it's wealthy. I mean, that's
really.
Oh my God, that's a really up for years now. It's been. I mean, it's been for over 10 years. That was like one of the first things to get overly gentrified in Brooklyn. But that in the in the 80s and 90s, it was garbage. It was shitty. It smelled like fish.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to fucking be there.
You buy it cheap.
You could buy all of it. Nobody wanted it. They would be like, you want to buy this for what?
Why?
You could just be here. No one cares. Right. Just go burn it down. No one will notice.
New York City zip code? Is that all you're after?
It's not even that. It's a Brooklyn zip code. It's a different thing. So he grows up in Brownsville in the projects.
Yeah.
Now, Brownsville is still fucking dangerous.
Really?
So, Brownsville, East New York, there's a lot of these places that are still, that the gentrification has not penetrated places like East New York so much, where it's a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
It's like the South Bronx. It's like they've been trying for a while, but that's a lot to go there.
Who passed out behind the wheel after doing shitloads of blow in Brownsville?
Bernard King.
That was Bernard King. There you go.
Yeah, it's another New York playground guy or New York basketball. That's what I mean. It's Jesus Christ. It's just very. This was tough times to grow up, and especially like in the 50s, not so much. But when he's a kid growing up through the 60s, that's when Brooklyn kind of starts to really deteriorate.
Okay.
Like the projects when they first built them were nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were nice in the 40s and the 50s. They weren't bad. And then they got bad later on.
Sure.
That's how it happened. So, when he was born, it might have been fine. He's raised by his mother. His mother's from South Carolina. Okay. So it's, some southern people that came up there. His father, not around at all. And who knows, like we've said, the age-old question.
Yeah.
Is it better for the father to just never be around or stick around and beat the living shit out of anyone within arm's reach? That's
one way you're taking lumps. Are they from life or from dad?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's one of the two. So it's kind of one of those things here. He has a tough upbringing because his mother does not have a lot of money at all. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say about gentrification. I'm not a big fan of gentrification, by the way. So no, I don't like
society build it on its own.
I just don't like it. I don't like people going, we're going to change this, and then just like that means we're gonna make everyone who lives here now leave. And I'm going to turn their places into lofts. That's what I'm going to do. Like, I get, like, you want to make shit nice, but not just wipe it out and fucking turn everything into cupcake shops so you
like
can
salting the
walk
earth.
your fucking baby carriage down the street. Like
2000 style.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem right. It just seems very Japanese internment. Like, well, this looks nice. We're going to take this. You're over here.
It feels
I know they're not interning. I'm not saying that.
It feels racist, but it's not. It's not necessarily geared that way, but it certainly feels.
It's capitalism, is what it is. So it is that's the driving force. No one says we're going to take this neighborhood. There's not a group of gay guys standing there going, we're going to take this neighborhood over because we hate Puerto Ricans. That's not what they're saying. It's just like they're going to go, this is cheap and I don't mind. I'm not afraid of being stabbed.
We can turn it around and make more money.
We're going to turn it around and I'll open a cupcake shop on the corner and that's going to fucking, and it goes from there. Yep. So that's what I mean.
Sooner or later we're going to have Morton's wanting a place in here.
Yeah, so that's how it works. Or whatever the hipster version of that is.
Whoever makes craft beer and serves steaks.
That's the thing, yeah. So or maybe not steaks, maybe some sort of vegan alternative. I'm not sure. They serve portobello.
The Impossible Burger. Yeah, something with an Impossible Burger.
It's all plant based.
Fuck you.
By the way, since
jam
when
that shit right up your ass?
They used to go, it's a vegetarian burger, and you go, gross. Now they're like, it's plant based. It's plant-based. It elevates it.
Right.
Like, don't stop with the buzzword.
They say it to get $2 extra out of it.
Plant-based, elevated. It's because it's made of shitty ground-up vegetables doesn't mean it's elevated or based. Fuck you. Stop saying elevated.
Still a veggie burger, you fucking jerks.
Stop it. By the way, if you watch Bobby Flay, just go on Hulu and watch a few Beat Bobby Flays. Or just it's like a random cooking show.
Great.
He's fucking terrific, by the way. Isn't anything against Bobby Flay, but every single chef that comes on there to compete, they're like, well, I make fucking food cart food, but it's elevated. No, you don't. What you've done is you've caramelized some horse shit and then put it on your food cart shit. And you called it elevated, and now you charge $14 to get food through a window while you smell diesel exhaust. That's what we're doing now. Shut the fuck up. Make your food. Elevate my ball sack.
That's the new way to. It's because Emerald took kick it up a notch. Yeah, so he took that shit. So they've got to figure out a new way.
You can take fucking food that college kids can make at 2 a.m. in their dorm, and you can put one stupid extra ingredient on it, and you go, it's elevated, and that means it's worth twice as much.
There's
now.
Tabasco in your mac and cheese. Now give me $13.
A different kind of bread on a different this. Oh, this burger's. Oh, it's a truffle oil. It's elevated. It's fucking $14. No, stop.
The only thing elevated are the fucking prices. Stop it.
Stop it. I can't wait. Can't wait. I'll say it right now. Eventually, the economy will not be as decent as it is now, and everyone's going to be like, why is this fucking burger $18? Oh, it's elevated. No, motherfucker, it's not.
It's called inflated. Fuck you.
Can I have it de-elevated back down to where it was?
Can you delevate it?
Yeah. Hold the truffle oil. Thank you.
Hold the truffle oil and $10.
And like I've said 1,000 times, keeps the goddamn grease off the fucking bun. It's a handle. That's what it's there for. Otherwise, you just grab the meat. It's only there so you don't have to grab greasy meat with your hands like a fucking animal. That's why there's a bun. So when you rub shit on it, you're ruining it. Oh, it adds extra flavor. Guess what? You could put the flavor on the inside of the fucking bun with the burger. If there's not enough flavor in there for you, you have made a shitty burger. You fucking assholes.
I gotta put burger juice on the outside.
Oh, God. They rub grease on it. I'm like, what are you doing? You've just ruined it. That's like taking tires and going, just fucking coat them in something really slick. Just coat them in Vaseline, 3 inches worth.
There's nothing funnier than being on the road with you and you being already unbelievably exhausted and annoyed, and then you have to eat at an airport. And then you like shake your hands like your hands are having a seizure at the food, and you go, I can't eat this, and then he gets up for the $30 airport meal and gets on a fucking plane and bitches that the airplane food sucks.
I don't care.
Of course it sucks.
That's all terrible.
On an airplane.
I want decent food. I don't even want, it doesn't have to be elevated. I just want something decent. I don't care if
and then you stewing from Iowa to Phoenix.
Yeah.
There was grease all over it.
This is how not picky I am. I don't care. Like when we go to Philly, I basically just eat Wawa sandwiches for $5 because they're good. Like I'm not someone who's like, this is beneath me. I'll take shit. I love a shitty $5 sandwich.
Yeah.
If it's edible, I'm like, awesome, I win. I just can't take
grease all over.
Stop elevating my food.
And putting shit on there that doesn't belong.
Stop elevating.
There's too much on it.
I don't want any more.
Hamburger,
no more
cheese,
elevation.
done.
I'm done. So back to Fly.
Yeah.
Fly was not elevated at all. Fly's father not around here. He has older brothers, but they're spotty, in and out, and gone back, forth. He doesn't really have a lot of male father figures, influences. So, he's got a lot of problems. He gets in a lot of fights around there, and he's a skinny kid too. Yeah. He's tall, but he's skinny as shit, as we'll talk about.
It'll get you picked on.
It'll get you picked on, and they talk about too. He doesn't, he's not really, I don't think, medically cared for very well as a child, as we'll talk about. Like his nutrition isn't great, and as we'll talk about, his dental hygiene and things of that nature are not wonderful as a child.
I can relate.
Hurts him. Yeah, well, not to this. No? We'll talk about it. No. This is of another level.
Really?
Yeah. He gets beat up a lot in the neighborhood and shit like that. He and there it was like, he doesn't have any older brothers. He doesn't have anybody who can stick up for him. So it's just, they could beat that kid up all the time. So that's kind of how it was. He described his neighborhood here. This is from, there's a book called Heaven is a Playground. They made a movie out of it that kind of fictionalized the book. Yeah. But it's about the playgrounds of the time and all the kind of guys on the playgrounds of the early 70s and late 60s. Yeah. And this is how the world got introduced to Fly, was through this book. People, read about him, and he's one of the characters that stands out the most in the book because out of everybody, he's the picture of him in the book that you see is this young kid. He's got these weird shorts on. He's got this like tank top with a big mouth on it with a tongue sticking out, giant afro with a pick stuck in it, big smile on his face, like
a Rolling Stones shirt.
It almost looks like a Rolling Stones tongue, but it's not the Rolling Stones tongue.
Is it a knockoff Rolling Stones?
I don't even know because it's 1970.
Yeah,
so I mean,
it could be a Canal Street Rolling Stones.
It could have been anything.
Shirt. Yeah.
It could have been something. Who the fuck knows? I don't know where the hell he got it from. But he's a total character anyway. He in this thing. This is only can be done in their own words. I feel like so we need to do in their own words and let's find out about his neighborhood and how he grew up here. Yeah. In their own words, quote, "They seriously insane in my neighborhood. I mean, if you don't have a gun, maybe 5 or 6 guns, you in real trouble. The other night, this dude standing in a building yelling, 'Shoot me, shoot me,' and this other dude was holding the gun in his mouth the whole time, and he shot him. The shot dude comes staggering out on the sidewalk and lays there, and the people on the sidewalk, they just stood around and laughed."
What?
So that's his description of this happened the other day in my neighborhood. So not a good place. No. This is a dangerous fucking place to be. Very, very dangerous. They just laughed. Like, fuck that guy.
That guy's bleeding. Isn't this hilarious?
Yeah. Look at him.
My word.
Nobody gave a fuck. There's a certain callousness going on when you're dealing with
what have you seen that
that's what I mean.
Scare you?
Brownsville.
Good Lord.
Brownsville in the 70s. That's what you've seen. I mean, shit was bad, man. This is not good at all. This is really bad neighborhood.
I've seen guns go off. I can't recall seeing anybody really get hit.
That's just.
But to laugh?
Just be like,
that's not the reaction I would do.
Not even I guess I'll call 911. And they're just like, fuck him. Anyway, so I was at the store the other day. Will you shut the fuck up and quit gurgling?
Stop gurgling. I'm trying to tell them the story about how James walks away from
Jesus
shit.
Christ. I'm trying to complain about elevated parts, motherfucker. Shut up. Yeah, truffle oil. I hate it too. Fucking lay there. Yeah, that's not good. So, on the playground and in high school, he's really good. He tries other sports. He's tried football for a minute and pretty much got to like his second practice to where he got hit good for the first time, and he was like, I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. He's not a thick guy for football. When he grows up, he's 6'5", and at max he's listed at 200 pounds, and that's pushing it.
That's not good at all.
Oh no, that's pushing it. Yeah, really? He's not even 200 pounds. Ooh, no, he's nowhere
stretching
near.
Him.
He's not 200 pounds. Wow. They're trying to make him sound sturdier than he is. He's probably 170. Wow. When you look at him, like the footage of him, you're like, that man is not 200
He looks
pounds.
like Manute Bol in a smaller version.
Yeah, he's a real, he's sinewy. Yeah. He's a real sinewy, wiry kind of. Boy. He's fast, athletically explosive. I mean, he can fly, man. I mean, he's got ups, and he's in. He also tries baseball when he's a kid, but as he starts to get taller and taller, back then they used to tell you if you're getting too tall, they tell you you're not going to be good at baseball now because you're too tall. Right. Which now is, unless you're 6'8", you can be 6'6" and be a good baseball player, no problem.
I suppose that makes sense.
But they were telling him he was too tall and he should probably concentrate on basketball. So he concentrated on
especially
basketball.
As a pitcher or any sort of hitter. Being that big would be intimidating as fuck to a little pitcher.
Randy Johnson is sick, you know what I mean? Yeah. You could be a pitcher. You can be anything if you're a pitcher. I mean, it doesn't matter. You could be tiny. You could be Pedro Martinez. You could be Randy Johnson. Doesn't matter.
But being that big and being like in the outfield, it's intimidating. It
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Robbing home runs at the same time.
If you can stay healthy and everything. The only thing is at the plate, your strike zone's fucked. That's why it's kind of nice if you're a pitcher because you don't have to. Your hitting isn't as important. Right. See, like a Richie Sexson, when he started to slip a little bit, it fell right apart because he just fucking strike zone's enormous. It's not helping. Whereas Chuck Knobloch could hang on an extra year or two with walks because he was a miniature. So he goes to James Madison High School in Brooklyn, where he's a kind of a star basketball player there. But that he doesn't care about that as much as the fact that he's a star on the playground. I don't know if you're younger, or I mean, this is well before our time, but I mean, but we heard when we were like in the 90s, there was a lot of information coming out about the old playground shit. Remember the Earl the Goat movie came out and shit like that in the 90s. Like it was a big. I remember in '96, I was on the subway doing something, going to or from the Yankee parade, and the Yankees won the World Series. I remember the poster for the Earl the Goat movie being on the wall over there on the subway for that. But like it was a big deal then, so we've kind of heard about it. But nowadays, I don't know if kids know about it as much. This is basically like where the N1 videos came from. This shit was going on back
long before
the 50s. From the 50s and 60s, New York City playground basketball was fucking crazy. We're talking these games, if you watch them, there's footage of these games, they look like NBA games. Guys are soaring, fucking dunking from the foul line. Guys are doing alley-oops. They're banging fucking long-range shots.
All within the confines of the rules of the game, too, which is shocking.
That's the thing. And talking mad shit at the same time. It didn't matter if you hit a three and then walked away. There's no style in that. You had to be a great player and then some to be a playground star, to be a respected playground guy. I mean, if you were dropping points on them like crazy, I'm sure that didn't matter if you were boring.
Sure, they'll accept you.
They'd eventually call you like fucking Wallpaper or Vanilla Man or some shit. Like you'd be boring, but you'd be accepted. Whereas the style, though, was the main thing. It
mattered.
You wanted to have a reputation for your style and your play.
There's something cool about that. That's why I like everybody basketball around the court chants as there's a giant dunk.
No other sport has that.
Nothing.
No other sport has that.
No,
it's not.
It's so specific to the two guys. Guy dribbling, guy with the
and
guy
it's weird,
guarding.
They're not the only two guys on the court. Other people can help. It doesn't matter.
But if you get
at
an
that point of dunk,
that's
where
unbelievable move in a dunk or a three or some sort of jump shot.
And you would think like a pitcher throwing 100-mile-an-hour ball by someone as they swing and miss. That's an shit. You don't hear that.
Got him.
Oh, god damn it, motherfucker. Some people run out of their seats and come back. It doesn't fucking happen. No matter who's watching it, too. It's like it could be happening in a playground setting, and still it wouldn't happen. People would be like, "Yeah, good pitch." Whereas something about basketball, there's an energy to it. There's even in football, you could just blow somebody up, and for the most part, they cheer. They don't go, oh, shit.
Right. How did they bleach this shit out of the NBA? Because it used to be in that, and it's fucking shocking that they did it.
Because they're like, how do we sell this? Okay. What do season tickets cost?
Right.
Okay, we need to sell to old white people.
Right.
Okay, how do we get
old white people to get their kids involved in this?
I understand they're afraid of 23-year-old black men. Right. We're going to fix this. How can we fix this? Michael Jordan never say a word about anything other than shoes and Gatorade.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Done.
And it works.
And then everybody that talks shit, they'll eventually bleed out, and then we'll have a league of Steph Currys.
That's it. And you have a league of Steph Currys, and then you have, there's awful. No more Charles Barkleys.
Nobody.
There's no more.
Nobody.
I mean, there's guys that have these personalities.
Right. They're just suspended for doing it.
And the NBA is still, you're allowed to express yourself way more than any other league.
God, yeah.
That's the other thing, too. But they've definitely made it to where, marketing purpose wise, they want these guys to be as vanilla as possible. But the Street Basketball Association ranks Fly as the number 2 playground player of all time.
Behind who?
Earl the Goat, of course. Yeah. They said Earl the Goat, by the way, had a 60-inch vertical leap.
James, that's 5 feet. That's insane.
Jordan's was in the mid-40s,
right.
And, that's what we're... Yeah,
you could be 5 feet tall and still dunk.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
That's like Spud Webb level vertical leap.
The man could touch the top of the backboard.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They used to do tricks with that kind of shit.
Wow.
They put shit on the top of the backboard, and the guys used to jump up, grab shit. Like, they put a coin on top of the backboard. They'd jump up, grab the coin, and dunk on the way down.
Unreal.
That's what they do. Or dunk on the way up, grab the coin, and fucking pop off, or however they wanted to do it. So
that's sick.
Yeah, they would say, like, Earl the Goat said he was selling drugs at the time, and he got offered a pro contract in '69, and it was like $100,000 or something.
He makes more selling drugs.
And he said, I was already sitting on $200,000 cash from my drugs, so it was kind of like, why the fuck? I'll just play basketball on the street and have fun. And
I'm doing better now.
Shit. Yeah. That's what it was back then, though. You could do better selling drugs than you could do playing basketball. Why the fuck not? So, now, Fly says, and this is, we'll get to this in a second. He says, quote, I was flamboyant. It was the style. Walt Frazier had Clyde, and I was Fly, because Walt Frazier called himself Clyde, and I was Fly. I was Fly before Curtis Mayfield was Superfly. Now, Curtis Mayfield, please, God damn it, people, I know half of you are going to go, who's that? Please look up Curtis Mayfield, because motherfucker is his shit good. Pusher Man. Look up Pusher Man. Yeah. Watch him sing Pusher Man at one of those like early 70s like TV appearances with people dancing and shit. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. Pusher Man or Superfly or there's a fucking ton of shit. But Pusher Man's like the prototype for rap music. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know Pusher Man.
Of course.
Yeah.
And if you don't, when you listen to rap or any sort of hip hop, if they reference any other singer, fucking Google them, do the work, do the homework, because it's worth it, and you'll be better tomorrow. I promise.
Fucking Pusher Man starts out, this is in like 1971, which I'm your mama, I'm your daddy.
I'm your Pusher Man.
I'm that N-word in the alley.
That's true.
I'm your doctor when you want some coke, here's some weed. Right. That's the opening. Right. Songs in 1971 didn't really say shit like that, right. From the movie Superfly. So they try a lot of...
Why does that word in a rap song make me just smile? It makes me so happy when they say shit like that. Because it's hysterical. Well, it's so comical.
It sounds smooth out of Curtis Mayfield's mouth.
So that's good.
Why. If you said it wouldn't sound as nice.
Sounds horrible.
Like, Jesus, that's terrible.
Calm down, mister.
Good God, man.
We'll never...
Fuck, Jesus.
I don't want to talk to you again.
Curtis Mayfield, you're like, that's right.
Get it, son.
Yeah, tell him about it. Tell him about it, Curtis.
Hell yeah.
So, if you read about Fly Williams, a lot of people say, oh, he's named Superfly. He's named Fly like Superfly, like Curtis Mayfield. Mm-hmm. But he got that name before Superfly was a thing. He was just Fly. Mm-hmm. 3 different ways of how you could accomplish that name, and they're all different legends, but basically one of them is that he got it by accident. He was in a high school playoff game in Brooklyn, and he took an off-balance crazy shot, and it went in. Yeah. And he said his sister says, quote, it was a funny shot. Right after the game, we started calling him Fly, like he lets it fly with the ball.
Got it.
So either lets fly, or they call him Fly, they could say, because he fucking fucking he can jump out of the building. So, I mean, fly like that.
Right.
And then he'll also say, because he was Fly.
Yeah.
So he either...
He dresses Fly.
Yeah, he either... Yeah.
He's cool as shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He either he either let fly,
right?
Fucking
flies.
He either let fly, can fly, or was Fly. Either one. But that's how it works here.
And if he qualifies for all three, we may as well just call him that.
Fly. Yeah. And he qualifies for all three.
He qualifies.
Qualifies. Now, boom. Now, there's a guy named Rodney Parker. Now, this guy, these are complicated characters, these Rodney Parker characters. He is a professional ticket scalper. That's kind of how he makes his money. He also is kind of what is called in several different publications a father figure and self-styled coach / talent scout who's always searching for, quote, city ball players that he could get to colleges. Now, these guys are hustlers, and there's a lot of these guys. They still exist, but not so much, because back then you could do it under the radar and it was just cash money. Basically, he would find these guys who were good players who colleges didn't know anything about because they either had spotty high school attendance, playground guys like that.
Right.
He would get them colleges to be interested in them. That way he would get them into a prep school for a year, high school, and then colleges they would end up going to college. Now, the colleges would then pay these guys,
of course,
under the table, a few grand for fucking hooking them up with the kid. And that's how it would work. He would steer the kids toward the college.
Because that's cheaper than scouting.
Exactly. Right. He would steer the kids toward the colleges and every city has 10 of these guys.
Of course.
All over the fucking place. And this was one of the guys. Now, he did good for these kids at the point. There's a lot of these kids who weren't going to go to college, and he directed them toward college. So for his own personal gain, he did help a lot of people.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's that's, I guess, called business, I suppose. It's sleazy if everybody doesn't know what's happening. So you can call these guys scumbags.
He's taking advantage of a system. He's taking advantage of children. He's doing a lot of gross fucking things.
He could just be a good Samaritan coach guy on the street who helps these kids and alerts them to colleges and then doesn't take any money under the table. But
that would be nice.
It's not going to.
But then he's also a goddamn ticket scalper, and those guys, very few of them have any sort of morals.
That's the thing.
They're being dicks for being the sake of their own wallet.
Yeah, and he talked about like the kids that he knew from around would come and they would ask him for tickets, and he was selling them. This is when the Knicks were good in the early 70s, and so he's selling them for a high price, and he wouldn't give them tickets and shit. And he's like, if I give them to one, I got to give them to everybody. Then he'd have like kind of his star guys he'd help out and give tickets to and shit that, so they could see people. So he's really good at James Madison High. Fly is here. He's an all-city player there, and then he's an all-American. So he's a bad motherfucker. Yeah. He's 6'5". In his senior year, he averages 28.2 points and 21 rebounds a game. Nasty.
That's unbelievable.
Just absolutely nasty.
He was 6'5".
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
What I mean.
How great that life must be.
If you can jump through the ceiling and have 28 points a game.
God damn it.
One of the coaches at one of the other schools said, quote, he had as much talent as anybody I've seen on the high school level. Here was a guy who was 6'5" and handled the ball like a guard. He had 3-point range and then some, and he could jump out of the building. So, yeah. They said he was a recruiting analyst, Tom Kachalski. He evaluated players from New York for 40 years. He says, quote, Fly was an extraordinary talent, capable of getting the ball in the basket from almost anywhere on the court. Inside, outside, you name it. The problem with Fly is in school, he doesn't give a shit about,
of course not,
academics at all. So he's having a problem there. All he wants to do is play basketball. Yeah. And they say, like, if it snows, Fly's out there with a shovel in the court off. He used to do that too. Yeah. But he was playing. Yeah. If it's in the rain, it could be 10 degrees. Everybody else is like, Jesus Christ, he'll be out there shooting baskets by himself if he has to. But he's playing basketball. Yeah. So that's all he cared about, which I totally understand. He ends, if you're a kid and you're good at it, it's all you want to do. Yeah. And that's where he's getting all of his positive reinforcement.
Yeah. And everybody's telling him this is your ticket out of here.
Yeah. That's the other thing. And when he's doing that, everybody says how great he is. Yeah. So why the fuck would he, in math, they say he sucks at it or whatever class he's not doing well in or doesn't care about. And here it's great. So he ended up being enrolled at a prep school here in Glen Springs Academy here. It's in upstate New York. And that's where they sent him that's the prep school. Mm-hmm. That's to show that he could do college and to get basically they send him there. He plays basketball and and I'm making quote marks, his test scores get better.
Sure they do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Those girls that sit next to him are doing very well.
You know how that works. So he averages 33.9 points a game that year.
Good Lord.
Which is obscene.
That's stupid.
It's obscene, and his team goes 33-2.
Yeah.
So they're happy to have him.
They're scoring 65 a game. He's got half of it.
Yes, absolutely. Now our ticket scalping friend here, Rodney Parker, this is kind of where he's involved, and he's trying to explain kind of how it was hard to. There's going to be some quotes here that are from like 1970 that sound very harsh because they're from 1970. Just keep in mind they're from 1970.
They were allowed to talk like that.
And this is, Rodney Parker, I mean, he's fucking... He's a ghetto dude. He can say what he wants about ghetto, whatever the fuck, I guess. But this is his quote. Quote, "Ghetto kids can't handle authority. And you know why? Because 90% of them never had fathers. I know because I never had one. The only men they see are the guys on the corner being cool. They can't take being yelled at or embarrassed even for their own good because it's all part of this manhood thing. What they think a man is, never being told what to do." Yeah. So he's trying to explain that it was hard to corral some of these guys, and he had to he could relate to them because he came up the same way, so that was the only way. And that's why in certain aspects he really helps a lot of these kids because he puts them on a right path. I mean, you'd rather be going to college on a scholarship to play basketball than not, I would assume, than doing nothing. Yeah. So, it's got to be better. He also, Fly at some point in his teen years gets shot in the leg. Don't know the details of it.
In his teen years.
He gets shot with like a 22.
Do they say how? Nothing.
That's just, who knows if he caught a couple of strays or robbery attempt or Brownsville, just general. How did that happen? Brownsville, just walking around.
Entry, exit, I'm good.
You pick up a couple of gunshot wounds walking around back then.
That's just a stray.
That's the way it was. He was a different kind of kid, though. Like, when he was up at the prep school, at one point, like, he dribbled off the court to get a drink of water once, just like in the middle of the game. He's like, hold on, and like went over and grabbed some water while he was dribbling to drink it. But didn't do it to like make a spectacle. He was just thirsty. And he didn't think,
I don't have that at home.
I shouldn't stop to do this now because I'm in the middle of something. One of the guys, the headmaster of the school, said, quote, "Fly was not a normal ghetto product. Even the Brooklyn kids were scared of him." So that's what we're talking about. Yeah,
he was elevated, James.
He's an elevated ghetto product. See, he's a ghetto burger with truffle oil, and we smeared some shit on the outside, and now he's elevated. The other burgers are scared of him.
He's extra. He's extra ghetto. I like that.
Oh shit! So Fly is an All-American that year, and Glen Springs is the number one prep school in the state or whatever here. And he said the Fly was so good. The Rodney Parker guy kept saying he was so good, but for some reason he wasn't inundated with college offers, which is strange, actually, because he's so good. You would imagine everybody on the All-American team is probably going to...
Talent gets signed.
Yeah, the first 10 guys are going to get offers from everybody, you would think. But then, not really, though. He told people he did, too. They're in the Heaven is a Playground book. They're talking about how he would tell, like, the press that he had, hundreds of letters from colleges, and he was sifting through them, and he didn't know what he wanted to do yet. But really, there was like 2 or 3 schools that gave a shit. That's all. And different ones. It's funny, too. Marquette is where he was looking for one.
That's cool.
Also, UCLA.
That's good, too.
Which UCLA at the time was the preeminent. That's, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just
maybe
came out of
nobody
there.
wanted to send him anything because they found out UCLA was scouting him. If they're going to scout him,
if John Wooden wants you back then, they won the national championship every year.
Why would Ball State even waste the time sending a letter?
So Marquette, UCLA, and Austin P.
Okay, Austin P can just go fuck themselves.
Do you know what Austin P?
I have no idea. Okay. It doesn't matter. Oh, I have heard of that.
Yeah, Austin P. They're in the tournament once every 10 years.
Nobody. Nobody good has gone there?
No. Austin P. There. So he.
I thought it was like Austin P. Period.
No, Austin P. A.Y. They might have. But the Rodney Parker here is pushing Fly toward Austin P.
What are you doing
here?
be a star somewhere where nobody's at.
Well, he says, and this makes sense too. I mean, UCLA is a lot of pressure. Automatic national spotlight. Right, everything you do is under the microscope.
You're super ghetto.
Yeah, that's the thing. And Marquette is also, I mean, there's a little more.
That'd be cool too, though.
Yeah,
that's
Marquette's
a good one.
not bad.
That's a good school.
He also says, Rodney says that the coach there seemed best prepared for trouble and that sort of thing. And also because he was allowed to send 3 other guys with Fly. So this Rodney Parker got 4 guys on the Austin Peay team.
Got it.
Danny Odoms and 2 other guys came as part of the package. So
but
this
UCLA is only getting 1 on the team.
You come here, you can have all your friends with you. It's a
he's got 80% of the starting lineup sent there.
Yeah,
it's going to get him a good chunk.
That's the thing here. He said, this is funny. Fly said, quote, excitement? Oh, yeah. We go downtown on Saturday nights and watch the grocery trucks unload. That's what he said. There's nothing to do there. Nothing. That's what he's saying.
In Austin?
Where do you think Austin Peay is?
Is that Austin, Texas?
It is not.
No.
It is absolutely not. It is in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Oh, worse.
Funny thing is, funny you should make that mistake, Jimmy. Funny, because we're going to talk about in a second. Someone else made that mistake as well.
The guy going there?
Yeah. Now you think you'd say Austin Peay, whatever, and then after a couple times talking about it, you'd go, so yeah, I don't know about Texas, and they go, it's not in Texas.
Right.
Never got to that point in the conversation. Matter of fact,
that is incredible.
He gets to the point. We'll get to it in 1 second, because I got a couple things before that here. But
one-way bus tickets. This is only going to Kentucky. Is that where it is? Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Doesn't matter. We're like in middle of the country. We still got a ways to go, you guys.
So.
No, you're saying here.
No. Now, when he gets down there, too, he has a ball down in Tennessee because he likes to he'll tell, like, the press. Yeah. He'll just tell them every Brooklyn horror story that he knows.
Yes.
Because they're like, what's it like being from Brooklyn?
Yeah.
They call him Flatbush Fly. Shit like that. Yeah. They're just like, what's it like up there? Yeah. And he's like, dude came up, shot him in the mouth. Everybody laughed. And they're like, oh, my God.
What the fuck?
Now, we do that with animals and,
Do that with an elk if we miss him.
I mean, if
we don't hit him with the lung shot, we got to put it in his face. I don't know. I imagine there's deer. There's buck.
Yeah, buck. There's no elk out there.
Shooting fucking.
It's like a mountain thing.
It's the same
Might
thing.
Be. Who knows?
I don't know. It's the same animal.
There's boar over there somewhere. Who knows?
There's probably wild pigs.
There's all sorts. There's pigs over there. Yeah. So he picks P instead of Marquette. Also, there's a quote here that I have.
UCLA's way too far, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the other thing here. It's far, and I think that. For him, he wanted to be in a smaller pond.
Yeah.
Now, the coach of Marquette is, by the way, that year quoted as saying this, which might be a reason. If I was him, it would make me not want to go there. Yeah. But I don't know. This was kind of actually considered a liberal thing to say back then in a weird way. There's some, back then it was a weird thing. Like if we need to treat the black people like children that we're, it was a weird sort of
suburban way of saying boy.
There was a strange racism in trying not to be racist back then at certain times, and it came out in quotes like this of Al McGuire of Marquette. He says, quote, "The only thing in this country that blacks really dominate except poverty is basketball."
Oh, what?
Now,
oh, gee. What's his name?
Al McGuire.
He kept his job?
No, that was considered very progressive. That was considered a progressive, because he was saying that shouldn't be like that, was his way of saying it, but that was his premise that he laid out first, which is,
God.
Yeah, you're
That's
going.
the most Jimmie the Greek thing
you're going home
heard.
after you say that now. So
just shit in a box.
Yeah. Now, Austin P. Get your shit in the box. What was it? Old Bill Burr joke from 20. Disassemble your cubicle. That's what it was.
With your awards.
Disassemble your cubicle. That was a great joke.
You're going home.
You're going home. So,
his awards sticking out of the top of the box.
Sticking out of the, got your Pulitzer sticking out of the top of the box. So he says that he went to Austin Peay because he said, quote, "I wanted to get out of Brooklyn and I didn't want to go anyplace too big." Mm-hmm. That's what he was thinking. Small,
is
big
Marquette
fish.
in Illinois?
Yeah, Marquette is, Marquette is Milwaukee.
Oh, you're right.
Milwaukee.
I drove right past it.
Absolutely in Milwaukee.
It is. I drove right past that whole campus.
So he was
just now thought it was somewhere else.
I wanted to go someplace that wasn't Brooklyn and that wasn't too big and that isn't Milwaukee.
Right.
Because, it's Milwaukee.
Also, he fits the build of a man who's about to be eating people that looks like him around that time. Dahmer was in Milwaukee, and he's perfect for him.
Yeah, he's a little old.
A little tall.
He's a little old.
Yeah, and a little older, right.
I think Fly would have fucked up for Jeffrey Dahmer up, too. Be like, what bitch? You'd have fucking popped him right in the mouth. I will fuck you up. Let me tell you what happened last night in Brownsville. Dahmer would be like, oh, God, that's horrible. Jesus. Even I'm horrified. Right. Even me. You understand?
How could they be so goddamn brutal?
Jesus Christ. Wow. Now, did they just leave him there? Did anyone eat him?
Did they pickle him?
Did they at least, did they waste him or what? What happened?
Put the dick in the fridge?
So now, here's a quote from Bob Costas. This is from the Loose Balls book.
I love Bob.
Loose Balls, by the way, not the Jason Williams Loose Balls.
Oh,
there's two different books called Loose Balls. One is Jason Williams and one a guy we did. And we have to do a redo on his episode too because we didn't spend enough time on it. There's plenty there. But he wrote a book called Loose Balls. But the book before that, it's an excellent book that I've read a couple of times called Loose Balls.
Without the misspellings.
Without the misspellings, grammatical errors, and lying about murder. Would be this Loose Balls about the American Basketball Association, which it's really fucking funny. It's one of these books that's told through quotes. Okay. This quote, this guy said that, boom, 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 boom.
Awesome.
It's a great book, goes quick. And here's Bob Costas from this book. He says, quote, Fly was a legend long before he got to St. Louis, because he ended up in St. Louis for the Spirits. Remember where Marvin Barnes played? Costas, that was his first job.
Really?
Was their play-by-play announcer in the ABA.
Awesome.
Yeah, so he says, the story went around with Fly, and I always thought it to be apocryphal, but it still makes the point. That was when Fly was recruited by Austin Peay, and this is a lot of people have said this story. He got on a plane in New York and flew to Austin, Texas. That was where he figured Austin Peay had to be. Yeah. When he got off the plane, he said to the first guy he saw, hey, where's the P, man? Heaven only knows what that man thought Fly was asking. Anyway, Fly then called his coach and said he was in Austin, Texas, and said, there's no P here, man. The coach was telling him that Austin Peay was in Clarksville, Tennessee, and then started routing him from Austin to Clarksville. Fly became confused and said, nah, man, I'm going home. Then he flew to New York and called the coach from LaGuardia, and from there he flew to Clarksville. He didn't want to go from Texas. That's too good. I'll go home and then I'll come down from there. I know how to get there from there.
We'll just chalk this up to a wasted trip, Coach.
That's the type of thing we're talking
Whoops
about.
The daisy.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what
just
I mean?
like, you know what? He's got his own style.
It's hilarious.
I'm more comfortable going from over there. No grease on my bun, please. I'm going to go from New York.
You seen the size of these burgers? It's grease everywhere.
Bun. It's all over the place as it is. I need a handle.
I'm going home. That's amazing.
That's fucking awesome. Apparently, Costas also says that Fly loved Don Rickles. He was his favorite.
Oh, we would have hung out
because that New York ball breaking thing. Yeah. Don Rickles. He's a playground. He's a tiny ball Jewish playground basketball star. Don Rickles. If he had a jump shot, he'd have been one of the biggest stars on the playground because no one talks shit like him. So.
How did he never get stabbed?
Oh God,
Don, Jesus!
So you would imagine
the
somebody
most
would.
Vicious, angry, said the worst things to people.
Oh
and somehow walked through life without a scar
because he was that good at it. Yeah. He said Fly would watch him if Rickles was on television, and the next morning on the bus he'd do Rickles' entire routine. He'd go up to Gus Gerard and said, "Hey, you hockey puck." He'd do these lame Rickles imitations, then throw his head back and say, "Man, that dude is hot." Just loves Don Rickles, which just fucking cracks me up.
It's hilarious.
Here's another guy from the book named Steve Jones, and he's a player on the team. He says, in our first game, Fly had a wide open layup. He was going 100 miles per hour on a breakaway. All he had to do was just lay the ball over the rim or dunk it. Instead, he went for a 360-degree layup. He turned himself completely around and nearly spun himself into the floor and threw the ball right over the rim and backboard. It was a total nightmare, but it was also an example of what the team was about, the total free spirit, no discipline, talent, but the talent was completely out of control. So, yeah, that's
hysterical.
That's fucking amazing.
Wide open, showing off, and just throwing the ball three rows deep.
Over, just gone. Another time, Jesus Christ, he could have been a wrestler, this guy. If you heard a story of him jumping off a second story thing through a window with a fire extinguisher as a propellant, and I told you he did it, you go, yeah, that makes sense, right? He could have hung out with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, this guy.
If you put this story, the story of going to Austin Peay, like a show there, some wrestling show, in Buck Zumoff's background.
Yeah.
Of course he landed in Austin, Texas. Of
absolutely he did. You know he did. Obviously, Chris Adams did that, and then he super kicked one of the flight attendants and ended up in federal prison or some crazy shit. What he did in college, he did things like he gets fouled one time, what he thinks is a foul, and no foul is called. So rather than go along with the game or even argue a little bit, he just lays down on the floor with the ball.
What?
Just lays on the floor on his stomach. There's a picture of him holding the ball, just laying down with the ball holding him and just not moving.
We aren't playing again until that whistle blows.
That's what he was doing. And there's a scout for the Buffalo team at the time, because they had an ABA team, and he said, quote, "I told the people I was sitting with, I don't know who we'll draft, but it won't be that guy." So that's what we're talking about with him.
Whoever it is, it's not the guy laying on the ball.
Not the guy who's completely disrupting the game. But he's nasty, man. For Austin Peay in 72-73, he's a goddamn beast. He averages 29.4 points a game as a freshman. Yeah. He's second in the nation in scoring as a freshman.
Wow.
Just comes in and lights it on fire. I mean, he's
second in the nation.
He's nasty, man. Wow. I mean, that's just only 2 assists a game. He's not passing much. Okay. But you don't want him to, because he's scoring like crazy. 7.6 rebounds a game, too, which is 29.4 and 7.6 for a guy at 6'5". I'll take that shit. So yeah, Lake Kelly is the coach there for Austin Peay, and they had not gone to the tournament since 1963-64. Okay. So this is 1972. So it's been a while. Yeah. They've not been good lately, and this year though they go to the tournament. They win in the first round here against Jacksonville, 77-75, and they end up winning. They end up losing to Kentucky, 106-100, who was a major national powerhouse.
Great team.
Yeah, so I mean, not too shabby. It's pretty goddamn good. And he fills up the arenas. I mean, that's the games go from, decent attendance or whatever to sold out immediately when he gets there.
See that guy.
Absolutely. When he goes on the road, people bring giant fly swatters and shit.
Oh,
because of fly.
Yeah,
that's the type of.
That's awesome.
He's really doing well. While he's playing at one point, it's because it's Austin Peay. They have a chant there.
Oh, no.
I'm going to give you a chance.
I feel like we've heard this.
I'm going to give you a chance to what's the most immature chant that could happen with the words fly and pee mixed into this?
I could not. I'm not that immature. I'm pretty fucking immature.
These are people going to college, presumably.
Oh, God, Jesus.
The fly is open. Let's go pee.
Okay.
So at least it's...
Oh, it's so clever. It's so good. Why do I love it? There's basketball references. It's great. It's so good.
You had to watch Jimmie. This is why I got to come to live shows. Watching him process that, he hears it and he's like, well, that's not. Oh, that's great. It took him about a second and 3/4, and then it hit him, and his eyes lit up like a kid that opened a Christmas present. Yeah. He's like, my Red Ryder BB gun, finally.
I felt the emotion sitting in the stands going, what are they saying? What are they saying? Oh my God, it's so good.
That's clever.
I'm staying with it. Fly's open. Let's go pee. Fly is open. Let's go pee. I love it so much.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
So good.
Fly would apparently throw himself all over the place. He's always all banged up. Yeah. He's apparently had like terrible calluses on his feet that he was going through. And they said that one of the athletic director here at Austin Peay said, quote, "It takes a drugstore full of tape and 3 doctors to get Fly ready for a game, but he's a great player. Yeah. Once he gets out there, he's doing great."
Oh, that's scary though. He's so young.
He's just falling all over the place. Yeah. And then he says, keep in mind, this is in 1972. Yeah. This is you heard this line in rap songs 20 years later. So this is how like cool this motherfucker was. He says, quote, "When game time rolls around, I forget about all the injuries. I can live with them. My heart doesn't pump Kool-Aid."
Oh,
that's way more of a modern
cold-hearted shit.
That's a modern thing to say. It's pretty funny to say in 1972. He in one game he was 24 of 46 from the floor, and he had only 3 of 7 field goals. He had 12 rebounds. and he said that he was off. He was off after the game because he didn't like it. He said, I'll be out on the court first thing in the morning. That's the type of guy he is.
That's an off night.
That's an off night for him. And his coach says that's kind of dedication. That's why one of these days he's going to hit 40 or 46. So we'll see. Now, Rodney says, his benefactor, he says, quote, most of my kids only get one chance in school, but Fly, he could burn the whole damn place down and they'd still let him back. Yeah. That's another reason why he went down to a place like this, because he knows if you score 30 a game down there,
right,
you can fuck up all you want.
Do anything
You're
wrong.
the king of the you're the king of the small town. If you fuck up in UCLA,
oh boy,
you fuck up one little thing, John Wooden just goes, hey, you're off the team. I'll take the next best player in the country. Don't care. I can get anyone I want. Mm-hmm. So that's how it worked. Yeah, it's a different deal. So yeah, he would, but Fly would do like he would do different, like they tried to get his image good. Like he would do camps with kids, shit like that. He would talk to all the writers that he could, and he tried to make sort of a. They tried to make it seem like, oh, he's just a character, but because he was. The thing about Fly is
just on the court.
He's not a malicious guy. Yeah. Everybody that says he's got a huge heart, sweet guy, nice guy, a little oblivious, but he's not. It never hurts. It never tries to hurt anybody or no shit like that. He's not a bad person. Mm-hmm. He's just kind of a flake. Yeah. That's all. He's a little elevated. Mm-hmm. I mean, other than that, I don't understand. So one of his a coach says, quote, we were playing a game at Bellarmine, and to protest a foul, he laid on the floor. That was that one. There was a game in Louisville. He did that again here. Another time, there was a game against Marquette, and he and the coach got into an argument, or him and a player got into an argument in the locker room. So the coach benched both players for the second half, and they ended up sitting and watching. And the coach says he didn't even play in the second half, and he was still the leading scorer in the game.
Wow!
And he got kicked out. His coach also says he has a big heart. I'll never forget we were going to play a benefit basketball game in Shelbyville for a boy who had lost both of his legs in a farm accident. Jesus Christ!
What the fuck kind of farm accident?
Wow. That's a bad one. That's a bad farm accident right there.
What would do that?
A thresher, a fucking...
Get thrown into a fucking, like a cotton gin?
Yeah. I just see him sticking out the top with his... get the legs out.
Thrown through the milking machine? What would do that?
So...
That's... if you're doing work where it can take both your legs, quit.
Yeah,
Get the fuck out of there.
That's tough. That's especially for a child.
Yeah,
a child's job can take both your legs. It was a boy. He said a couple weeks before, Fly had sprained his ankle and couldn't play. When the game started, Fly, imagine you have no legs and being like, sorry, I can't play, little buddy, my ankle's a little sore. Next to a kid with no legs.
I'd love to have that problem, sir.
Oh, a little sore. Yeah,
Mine
tough.
too.
That's tough, Fly. Yeah, I can see. That's good. You know what? No, you sit.
I can still feel mine wherever the fuck they are.
Wow, yeah, they're back in the field over there.
Hey, ghost pain.
They're decent mulch. I know that much. That's what my dad said. Well, there's a positive here. Right. Decent mulch for the wheat.
The oak tree has never grown bigger.
Oh, it's glorious. The acorns coming like nobody's business now. So he said, when the game started, Fly got this little boy, got him down on the bench, and let him sit in his lap the entire game. He carried him to the eating place and helped feed him. He got a basketball and autographed it for him.
Helped feed him? He's missing his legs, not his hands. Here you go, jerk.
Hey, my hands. No, here you go, stuffing food in his mouth.
No, I got this, motherfucker.
Oh, Jesus. Maybe he just held him up.
Chill out, you ungrateful fuck.
It'd be hard to sit up with no legs. Maybe he just held him up.
Maybe so, yeah.
Maybe just prop him against the table at the back. No, I'm helping feeding him.
He's just like got his forearms on his knees.
Yeah,
he's still got his knees. Okay. Right?
Is it
above the knee?
I think they
took him above the knee.
I think so.
Lays his forearms on his thighs.
I think he's gone full Lieutenant Dan. It's a problem. So, in 1973-74, January of 74 here, he ends up being suspended he has a dispute with his coach and ends up getting suspended for a couple games and all this type of shit. This is when he's the number 2 scorer in the country.
Oh my God.
He ends up being the number 5 scorer in the country his sophomore year. Apparently it was a game against Western Kentucky. He got in Lake Kelly and Fly got in an argument at halftime. Apparently, Fly only had 1 point in the first half, which is pretty poor.
Yeah, it's time to have a chat.
So Kelly questioned him, and Fly just got dressed in his street clothes and left. So
at halftime,
he left. Just put his shit on.
You're
and
right,
left.
coach. I'm gone.
I guess you don't need me then.
Right.
And so he ended up getting suspended for a couple games, but it doesn't matter, man. He plays in 25 games. He scores 27.5 points a game, 10.9 rebounds.
My God,
27.5 and 10.9.
That means he scored like 54 one game to make that 1 point game not matter.
It doesn't matter at all. Yeah, he has 2 different 51-point games.
Wow.
So this year, so that's something. He's
unreal.
He's really gaining notice, but he acts so. The antics, the NBA does not look upon that shit with any sort of, they don't want, no, the NBA back then were still like, well, we want a nice solid bounce pass. Mm-hmm. You know, they were still like, I don't know, Pistol Pete, let's not go behind the back too much. It was a little, I'm serious though. That's how it was. I mean,
we like those free throws you're doing there, Pete.
Good job. Good job, pal.
Great form.
Yeah, nice. Good for fundamentals. It's different. I mean, the NBA was changing, but they were still, not a lot of teams that were thinking outside the box in terms of talent, I don't think. And you got that. So many guys in the ABA were there strictly because the NBA was afraid of them and afraid of personality and they just didn't quite quote fit the NBA type of thing. Where talent wise, they absolutely fit the NBA, right. And also some guys had problems in the ABA, like some guys would have, let's say, an eligibility issue in college,
right.
where that would make them ineligible for the NBA, like they'd be suspended, like Connie Hawkins, and he ended up having to go play in the ABA for no reason because he took money in college. Who gives a shit? It's ridiculous. It really
ruined his life.
Oh, absolutely.
I just learned that on the road with you because I was like, Connie Hawkins was the greatest dude, and you're like, oh, he got fucked. And I'm like, did he?
Got fucked so bad.
Oh boy, did he?
That poor bastard,
unbelievable.
Man. Yeah, he really got the.
And then he just died recently, so he never got his
fucked again.
Fucked again. Fucked by every fucking person in charge of anything, and then fucked by life.
The NCAA by God has just been taken down. So
you made a fucking huge impression on me, Connie. Thank you.
Yeah,
what a great dude.
No shit. One of the players on the team later on said, "quote I've told people in Louisville the closest person I've ever seen to Michael Jordan was Fly Williams. Yeah. He could handle the ball in his left hand or right hand, shoot with either hand, beat you off the dribble, or post you up. He had all the moves. He just had a scoring mentality. He was the best I've ever been on the court with. He was and his coach, Lake Kelly, said he was an extraordinary talent. He put on some kind of show almost every game, but he was a great player. He was ahead of the game in a lot of ways." Yeah. And
you keep saying this coach's name. Did you say Lake?
Lake.
His first name is Lake.
Lake. Yeah.
Wow.
K-E, yes. Lake.
Good Lord.
I'm sure it's
like the first river.
Lake Avilion or some shit. So
fucking jerks. His parents are assholes.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's always the problem.
Right down to the base.
He didn't fucking.
His parents suck.
Assholes. His dad was probably Lake Senior. Right. That's the problem. Another person said when things went against him, he reacted, and that's what a lot of people remember most. In 1973, he was taken off from the free throw line and dunking the ball. His game was just ahead of the game. So that's what he was dunking from the foul line before Dr. J was doing it.
Before Jordan.
Before Dr. J made it famous, and before Jordan, and before, who was the white guy who did it? One of the Barrys?
Brent?
Yes, it wasn't. It didn't quite look as cool, though.
No, it looked dumb as shit.
He just was like, I can get there.
He got it.
It was a long jump, not so much as a high jump, but still amazing. I can't do that.
Yeah, good for you, Brent.
So 73-74, Austin Peay, they go to the tournament again. They lose in the first round to Notre Dame that year, but they still go to the tournament. So he averages, he's third place in scoring in the NCAA that year. He also is 73-74 OVC, which is the Conference Player of the Year as well, which isn't bad, and third team All-American.
Oh.
So, yeah, he's one of the top 15 players in the country is what they're saying. Yeah. Now, July 74 comes around, and he's declared ineligible from college now. Not his fault. 17 other NCAA athletes as well, including a couple of other people at the Austin Peay College here. Apparently, the conference used an invalid table to convert SAT scores to ACT scores to determine eligibility. Apparently, they had a chart. If you score this on your SAT, it equals this on your ACT, and you need this to be eligible.
Cheat sheet was wrong.
Apparently, they was wrong. So, this is after they've been playing for 2 years. The NCAA notices this and says, oh, no, you guys can't play anymore.
What?
We notice what happened. It's him, it's Danny Oden, totems. It's the guys that Parker brought down there. They were given 2 options by the NCAA: either sit out a season or transfer to another school.
What about retaking the test?
Nope, not a consideration.
What?
Fly said, "Fuck this shit. I'm not doing any of that shit. I'm going to go into the the ABA hardship draft." Because as we talked about way back in the Tom Paine episode, back then the NBA and the ABA both had hardship drafts where you couldn't come out early from college, but if you could show a financial need, if your family was poor and you were poor and it was difficult,
college system fucked you.
Or if you got fucked over by some silver-haired middle-aged asshole, something like that. So that was, they had that. So you could apply for that and say, look, I'm really poor. I need to make money for my family. Me being in college for another year just doesn't, not helpful to me. And you could do that. So, they said about the college thing, quote, the commissioner at the time, Art Guepe, Guepe, I don't know, Art Guepe, had put the...
Art needs to change his last name.
Jesus, I can't even... That doesn't look like a name.
Is there a fucking legacy with that name? Get rid of that.
Yeah,
that's
call
awful.
Yourself Al fucking anything else.
Nobody else knows the name. No. Get rid of it.
Whatever it sounds like, spell it like that.
Right.
Yeah, unless it's Guepe, because then that's fine. Yeah, they said he put the conversion table in the OVC handbook. That's the conference, and all of the first schools had gone by that. The NCAA questioned it and said that the table was no longer valid. I still remember one day the NCAA called me and told me we were in error. I remember saying, in error? How could we be in error? We used the table in the handbook. So yeah, this is bullshit here, basically. He said, as far as we know, all of our athletes have passed the ACT test. We're checking to make sure at the request of Guepe. So yeah, they said that's the way we stand on the matter now. And if we find that we have an ineligible player, we'll be back with you. And we're going to, Guepe said he is claiming full responsibility for the misinterpretation of the rule. Now, so he goes for the hard shift draft here. He's trying to do that. Now, he wants to go back to school. If you apply for the hardship draft, you have until 1 hour before the draft to remove your name from the list and stay in school if you want. Yeah. It's not like now if you declare you're fucked. Now, it's different. So I guess Rodney Parker, he called Fly about a week before that and said he couldn't believe Fly said he wanted to stay in school for his junior year. And he was like, what are you talking about? And he said, oh, my education. And Parker told him, quote, don't tell me it's for your education. Fly said, quote, I like it here. People are nice to me. I'm the man. Yeah. It's fun for him there. Yeah. Everyone's nice to him. He can do whatever he wants.
This is great.
Yeah. So Rodney said, quote, the pros are killing themselves for you. Denver's talking $1 million, Fly, $1 million. So he's like, what are you talking about? So he convinced Fly to keep his name in here until, they could find out basically
where he's going to fall,
what kind of numbers he can get and shit like that here. He said, just don't take your name out yet and all that sort of thing. And so that's how it works. So he sits and he waits to see what the NCAA is going to say. And, if he's allowed to play or not, or if he's going to withdraw, or if he's going to play. And finally, he just says, fuck it, I'm going to go into the ABA draft. What else am I going to do? It's such bullshit, honestly. Yeah. It's honestly a load of shit that I hate all this eligibility shit. There's look up a ton of documentaries about how athletes in the NCAA are being bent over and eligibility is held over their head like some...
There's money involved.
So
That's
fucking
fine.
Stupid, man. Fly said, quote, if I had been there for 4 years, there's no telling how many points I could have scored, which is probably true.
I get it.
I mean, honestly, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. This is crazy that they're kicking a kid out of school who this is good for him. It's good for the school. It's good for everybody.
He's creating a fucking want for people to see your stupid game.
At Austin P.
Right.
If you're the NCAA, you should say, wow, Jesus, Austin P is good. This is, that's good for everybody. I mean,
they've never had a quote about they've never had a chant until now.
You thought it was in Texas.
Right.
So I did too. What the fuck do I know? I thought it was somewhere. I don't know. Not there. Right. Not in Tennessee.
Never would have guessed there.
I mean, the whole thing is crazy, but not as crazy as the sales, Jimmy. The sales. So if you happen to be in Johnson City, Tennessee, where this newspaper came from in May of 1974.
Oh, boy.
If you're traveling through time and find yourself there, you got to check in at the old Radio Shack for a 2-for-1 sale on blank 8-track tapes.
Oh, blank ones.
Blank ones for the home and
useless
car.
Ones.
Save 50%. It's 2 2-for-1 sale, baby. 40-minute playing time, 2 for $1.99. 80-minute playing time, 2 for $2.29.
You can make mixtapes with 8 tracks?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, off the radio, people used to do it all the time.
Right.
That's why I used to hear people
cartridges,
talk about it. Yeah, it's a click in there.
Yeah.
So 80 minutes. So it's an extra 30 cents. To get
double your playing time.
Double the playing time.
Right.
Makes no sense why you wouldn't do that. It's really stupid.
Get the 80s.
You can do that. Also, a clock radio special going on down here. We have AM/FM digital clock radio, $37.95, which seems high.
It does.
For back
then.
Does it
have a backup battery?
Space saver, easy to read numerals, lighted dials. It's one of those click ones with the light, and it would go like the flappy ones.
The one from Groundhog Day.
Yeah, exactly. 3-hour sleep switch and an earphone jack.
It's got a 3-hour sleep?
That's quite the snooze there.
That's a snooze.
You're going to be late for work.
My Christ.
Realistic is the brand here. AM radio phono combination. Plays, you can play records on it and play AM radio, but not FM.
Oh, yeah.
2488 for that.
2488 of useless.
That's it. Yeah. Answering machine, 1974. This is state of the art at the time.
Got tapes.
Automatic telephone answering system. Answer your phone and takes messages. Easy to install and operate. $79.95. For this little,
that seems high as fuck.
That's a lot for an answer. There was a brand new
that shit's
technology
built into your phone today.
Let's say you've built up all your technology. But you need, you've got it all. You've installed your Radio Shack things in your house, and you've got the clock radio.
Yeah.
And you know what? You set your answering machine up at home so you can go out, and you've got your 8-track that you made a mixtape of. You're all ready to go out, but you need to get all dressed up.
Yeah.
You head over to Glenmore Clothes, and they have polyester suits.
Yes.
For $49.95 to $74.95 with, Jimmy, free extra pants.
You're telling me that a suit
Whole
with
suit.
a free extra pair of pants.
Free pair of pants, extra.
Cheaper than an answering machine.
Cheaper, yeah, $74.95, $79.95.
Unreal.
Not bad. Or polyester sport coats, $39.95.
Wow.
And you get a pair of slacks on top of that for free. Boom.
That's a deal.
What do you got there? So if you happen to be in Johnson City, Tennessee in 1974, you can check that out. Now, the ABA, the American Basketball Association, if you don't know anything about it, we've talked about it briefly here. They have their teams as they stand at this time were the Kentucky Colonels, the New York Nets, New Jersey Nets later. And we talked about this with the Marvin Barnes episode. The Spirits of St. Louis, Memphis Sounds, Virginia Squires, Denver Nuggets, who were the Denver Rockets at this exact time, actually, because the owner owned Rocket Trucking, I want to say.
Really?
Which was, so he just named it after his business. And then, so now the Houston Rockets are the Rockets because some dildo in Denver owned a trucking company. Not because there's any rockets there. So it's weird, right? Is your Rockets jersey? It's a little strange. The San Antonio Spurs, Indiana Pacers, Utah Stars, and San Diego Conquistadors.
Oh, that's ugly. That's a lot of words and letters.
San Diego Conquistadors.
My Christ, that's a busy front of the jersey.
That's too much, man. So the ABA draft, number 4 overall, goes to the Denver Rockets, James Fly Williams.
Yeah.
So he's chosen number 4 overall. That's a big deal, I would assume. By the way, there's a guy named Clarence Foots Walker. Foots.
Walker.
From West Georgia College. He's drafted in the second round.
Oh, boy.
He got the Foots. Leonard Truck Robinson. I
guess feet doesn't sound as good as Foots.
Yeah, the Footman. So,
and who was the other guy? Leonard Robinson?
The Truck. Leonard the Truck Robinson.
Jesus.
Not too bad here. I don't know. Third round, Moses Malone.
All right.
Who was chosen out of high school.
Yeah.
And was a Hall of Fame
Famer.
fucking monster superstar here. So, he ends up going to, by the way, in this draft, Atlanta in the NBA draft. This is pretty fucking funny. In the NBA draft, Atlanta Hawks picked with their 10th round selection, the general manager, Pat Williams, drafted his newborn son.
What?
He tried to draft his newborn son.
Your fucking mouth.
With the 10th round pick, but it was disallowed by the league. Just as we don't want anybody in this pick, so we're going to pick my kid as a joke.
Who didn't kick him in the dick?
He should have been kicked right in the dick.
How dare you?
This kid be like, I've been drafted by the Hawks. So now he's drafted. His rights are traded from Denver to St. Louis, the Spirits of St. Louis. This is the team Marvin Barnes is on.
Right.
He is on the same team with Marvin Barnes.
Unreal.
If you haven't heard the Marvin Barnes episode, listen to that and understand these guys are on the same team and go, imagine being that coach.
What a trouble.
Whoa, this is a lot. So great players, but holy shit. So he says now there's negotiations of, he's going to be, he's got to have an agent to call and negotiate a contract, or he can do it himself at the time or whatever.
No.
They said in St. Louis, multiple people called to say they were representing Fly Williams. Like
just random ass people?
Many different people would call and be like, yeah, I'm representing Fly Williams. They'd be like, okay. And then another guy called and be like, hey, I'm representing Fly Williams.
What's he doing?
I think he's just nice and telling people they can do it. So
sure, man, go give me a big contract.
Yeah, the guy said,
sure, man, go give me a big contract.
It's all right.
You
sure,
too.
Give him a call. Fuck it. I don't know. Can't hurt. Whoever one of you gets the best one, we'll go with it.
You want the number for him?
So this
is great.
Harry Weltman here, one of the St. Louis guys here, he said, they got a call from numerous guys saying they represented Fly Williams from Austin P. Notice I said guys, at least 3 different guys claiming to be his agent, and we sort of guessed which one sounded best, and we dealt with him. So this is Wild West. This isn't like now where, this is crazy. He also said Fly Williams was just a gamble and nothing more. An inexpensive gamble, may I add, because we signed him for only $35,000. He was a colorful player, a playground legend from New York, a gunner who we thought might sell a few tickets and can get us some publicity. More important to us than Fly Williams was signing Gus Gerard out of the University of Virginia, who was very talented and averaged 16 points versus a rookie. So they say $35,000, but it comes out publicly that it's $250,000.
Okay, good, because they were talking about $1 million, James,
and he's the number 4 overall pick. So I'm kind of. This sounds like he said that the general manager sounds like he said it after the fact to not look stupid.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, I got a pretty good deal. It's only $35,000, whereas you didn't pay the number 4 pick $35,000.
No,
I feel like you paid him $250,000.
Don't fuck with me, sir.
You're full of shit there, Harry.
There's
I think.
No way.
Now, World Be Free, who. It's one of the greatest names in the history of the world. Another New York playground legend from a couple of years later. He says, quote, fly like the honeys, We when we were young, every time I seen him, he'd have a pretty one. He was cool, calm, collected with a big car. He was the man. He was a bad mamma jamma. Brother could do it all. That's fucking awesome. You know what? Grace. That's grace. A dude named World Be Free just called you a bad mamma jamma.
It's the
so
first
you could
dude
do
to
it
say
all.
it.
And it didn't sound corny.
Right.
That's what like an old white guy would be like, he's a bad mamma jamma, that one. He'd be like, oh, shut up. But a black guy in the 70s going, he's a bad mamma jamma.
Black guy in the 70s
cool.
named World Be Free.
World Be Free. And World Be Free was a cool motherfucker, too. He was so cool. So that's grace. You don't get any better than that.
Don't get confused with Meta World Peace doing his best to be cool.
Yeah, no.
He's just a douche.
World Be Free in the 70s
awesome.
was the shit.
Yeah.
So 1974-75, Spirits of St. Louis. This is Marvin Barnes, like I said, on that team. They had big old bald Joe Caldwell there. No, he wasn't that guy. He was a different guy. Anyway, Maurice Lucas. So there's some guys that get around later on in the NBA. But this team is 32-52. They finished 3rd in the division, but they still go to the playoffs.
Oh.
There's not a lot of teams.
Because there's 4 teams.
There's just like 10 teams. They actually win in the semifinals against the Nets. They win 4-1, and that is Dr. J's Nets. Right. So that's a big deal.
Right.
And then they lose in the Eastern Division Finals to the Kentucky Colonels, who were a really nasty team.
Where did they end up going?
Kentucky Colonels?
Yeah.
Where the fuck was Kentucky? They ended up...
St. Louis is the only one that didn't go, right?
St. Louis is the one that didn't go, yeah. And they got the chunk of the TV deal. Yeah, they got the in perpetuity TV deal.
Such a sweet couple
of
words.
I love that they have hats. Say in perpetuity on them. Just get a cut.
I want a contract like that.
A cut of every year. The greatest deal in the history. They called it the greatest deal in the history of business. And I think it is.
Any business.
I really think it is.
Those 2 words.
It just keeps growing. It's fucking incredible. It's what every time like the NBA gets now they're going to be on in China. They're like, awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Great. Sell it more. Put it on Mars. We don't care. More money for us. We don't have to do shit.
Is there anything broadcast to the moon yet?
Yeah. Fuck. I'm there. So, Fly Fly he has a tough time though in the in here. He's fun, but he has a tough time. Bob Costas says of him, back to Bob Costas, quote, I'd heard of Fly as a playground legend. I think the first game Fly came off the bench and scored 24 points. We didn't draw huge crowds, but the 5,000 people that were there went nuts. He was an immediate crowd favorite.
Yeah.
And he is. He's fun to watch. He's a great player. You can't miss him. Big old fro going down the court. Fly's, it was good. He was a good fit. Costas said about him, quote, he's lightning quick, very fast off the dribble, will make the open shot, no conscience from where he takes it, unlikely to lead the league in assists. He's a fucking shooter. He's a scorer. He's a ball hog and scorer. But I mean, how many guys in the NBA have been too? Sure. So there is a problem here. Fly has no teeth. Okay.
None?
That's what I want to get at. He has like 2 teeth in his mouth.
No way.
Fly didn't have the best nutrition growing up and didn't have the best care and shit like that. And Fly has lost all of his teeth by the time he's, 22 years old.
Great.
He's got like 1 tooth. Everybody says he'd smile and he'd have this 1 tooth.
That is so great.
So he's got like 1 tooth.
He's a hillbilly playing basketball.
Basically, yeah. And he was getting all the honeys.
Yeah.
He was a bad Bama Jamma, even with 1 tooth.
1 tooth.
That tells you something.
How well are you scoring?
Dude, how bad of a Mamma Jamma do you have to be?
Right.
To get all the honeys with 1 tooth.
Right.
You got to be a bad Mamma Jamma.
Gets all the honeys, gets no teeth.
Wow. So,
that's so great.
He's famous for his lack of teeth. And so that the problem is it would persist because he lack of nutrition as a kid. He grew up, he got skinny, and then as he got older, he couldn't eat much because what he could eat.
He's 24.
That's what I mean.
With 1 tooth.
What he could eat was limited now because he had no teeth.
Yeah.
So his nutrition sucked now too because he could only eat what he could eat. So
he's got to liquefy his diet.
So the Harry Weltman guy, the general manager there, he said that you got to go to a dentist. We got to get you some teeth. Yeah. Let's get you some teeth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Come on.
What are the chances today he even has that one left?
Oh, God. Well, we'll talk about it.
Right.
No, well, I know about his teeth now. We'll talk about it.
All
so, but he says you need some teeth. I think, too, for like publicity things. He's a fucking character. He's a guy you can advertise shit and he'll come. So we want you to smile with more than 1 tooth, please.
He could be the face of the organization if only
something.
He had some goddamn teeth.
More than 1 tooth. So he said that he wants to send Fly to the dentist. This Harry, I'll send you there. We'll take care of it for you. This is how much we want you to have teeth. The team's going to pay for everything. So the dentist told Fly what he needs to do. He's like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, that, and this, and blah, blah, blah. Fly said, all right. Dentist takes out a needle for Novocaine. Fly jumps out of the chair, leaves the office, and never goes back.
I don't blame him.
I don't fuck around with those needles, he says. He's done with that. The dentist called the general manager and told him what happened. And then Harry Weltman called Fly and said, what's going on? You've got to have some teeth, which is a great fucking line. I don't know why that's such a fucking.
Why are you running? You need teeth.
What was Fly's response to it? Quote, man, I wouldn't be the Fly if I had teeth.
What? That's not, no. God, no.
The Fly doesn't have teeth,
no,
is what I'm getting at. Because I'm the Fly and I have no teeth.
That doesn't go together.
I don't know what to say about that.
You're a human being. Put teeth in your face.
Man, I wouldn't be the Fly if I had teeth. I'll see you at the game. Bye.
I knew a dude that had meth mouth when I was in my early 20s. There was nothing more shameful than having fucked up teeth like that.
Well, when you're 22, especially, it's like he's 75 or something. He's been through some shit.
Oh, God.
So Harry Weltman said, quote, Fly was not the kid whose reputation preceded him. First, he was not a bad person. He was my daughter's favorite player, and he was always nice to the fans. When we cut Fly, my daughter cried, but he also wasn't as good a basketball player as he was supposed to be either. And that's the problem here. He in February of 75, he gets suspended for a couple of games, gets stuck on the bench for a couple games, comes back into a game after they put him in as a relief guy. He scores 20 points in 26 minutes, and so they end up winning over the Virginia Squires. He shows his value, and he says, quote, I guess that's the best I've played since New York. There, he sank 9 of 11 shots, and he was really good. That night, he says, quote, I've been practicing hard. hard. By the way, he's 21.
Unbelievable.
21.
With one tooth.
With one tooth. I've been practicing hard, and I hope it's paid off. Tonight, I think I got some things straightened out, is
How
what
did
he
he
says.
say all that with no teeth?
He's very carefully. Very slowly,
very slow.
so it didn't fly out on him. He averages 9.4 points a game that season.
It's not good.
So, I mean, it's not what he is, but he's not playing that much either. He's not playing a ton. He's playing 17.5 minutes a game. So he's a relief guy. He's a bench guy. So October 1st, 1975, this is right before the 75-76 season, the Spirits cut him. They put him on waivers. He apparently was beat out by a college kid. So they added, quote, the coaches felt he would have a difficult time making the club this season with our strengthened backcourt. Rather than hold him back, we felt it only fair to give him a chance to join another club as soon as possible, is what they say. So he's out, basically. Shit canned.
Doing him a favor.
Yeah, it's all for him. It's fine. They said that he's looked really he looked fine, but they just didn't they didn't have a place for him. One of the coaches here said they asked Denver if they'd be interested, and Denver said they weren't interested. He said, quote, he didn't establish himself very well in the first year. I really don't know what will happen to him. He plays the same position as David Thompson, so we can't use him. We're not looking for a 6'5" forward either. So he's out in Denver, and he said, we've just started camp. If I were to bring him in right now, we'd have to drop someone else, and I'm pretty sensitive about that. Maybe if he started with us right off the bat, it would have been different. Yeah, that's what they said.
Should have been called garlic aioli, because he is just elevated. He's nothing.
He's very elevated.
Useless.
Yeah, this is Larry Brown saying this, by the way.
Really?
The coach Larry Brown, who was coaching Denver at that time. They said he has great talent. Nobody questions that. I think he might have been with more. I think if he might have been with more mature guys and experienced players, he might have been in a better situation. He's kind of young, and he has some strange ideas about the game, and it was hard for him to lose himself in a team situation. But he has talent, and he seems like he wants to play. That's important, I would say. Now, a friend of his who played on the Spirits said about him, quote, getting cut demoralized him. It depressed him, and he didn't try to get back into the league. He just went to the streets and settled for being the playground legend. It hurt my heart to see him give up, because in my opinion, Fly could have played with any team in the NBA. And that's kind of what he does here. But he hangs around the Spirits for 75, 76. Yeah. He doesn't leave. They cut him, but he doesn't leave because he's kind of the team drug dealer.
Really?
So he stays around because he's the guy who has he brings drugs in.
He's the pusher man.
He's the pusher man. Yeah. He's
that guy in the alley.
He's the hookup. Yeah. But he's everybody's hookup, especially Marvin Barnes. He's got him. He's got a couple other guys. They come with the team and they have coke for everybody and shit. So one guy says, quote, sometimes Marvin would this is Fly. Sometimes Marvin would put me on the plane because they just needed their candy. I was the drug guy. I couldn't leave. I knew the dealers and everybody in every city. They used to put their orders in through me. So he was the guy who used to get all the drugs for everybody on the team. So they were like, you can't cut Fly. Right. How the fuck are we supposed to get coke in, San Diego? We don't know who to call.
I don't know anybody in Milwaukee.
Fly knows who to call. That's the thing. And everybody loved Fly. So that's how it worked here. Obviously, it's he's not really a sustainable.
So awesome.
That's not a career.
No,
to be the team's drug dealer.
You got to figure it out. But along the way, this could be pretty fucking rad. Yeah, this could be fun.
You never know. He ends up in Seattle for a while at the Supersonics in a camp there, but he gets cut in '76. Okay. So he ends up playing. He ends up going to Tel Aviv to play in Israel. There's a lot of leagues over there.
Here.
Europe, he's gone there, Middle East, and he goes through the CBA, Continental Basketball Association, the Eastern Basketball League, the USBL.
You've never heard of a player going this low and then getting into the NBA?
Not often. It doesn't really happen very often. We had somebody make a comeback, but it's not much.
Was it
quickly up and down and back out.
Philippines, that one?
No, Billy Ray Bates? No, somebody else. So it's at this point though he's got his money from playing for St. Louis, so he would come to the playground game, and this is from the Heaven is a Playground here. Come to a I believe it's from that. Come into a playground game wearing a white rabbit fur coat, with a gold Rolls Royce.
Oh no!
He would leave it double parked outside the game.
What?
And apparently a police officer told him to move it, and he tossed the keys and said, "You move it."
Wow!
To the guy. That's the kind of balls he's got, and. That's going to get you some street cred. You know what I'm
Treating him
saying?
like Bailey Gates.
Yeah. Hey, you move the rolls, motherfucker.
Yeah, park it around the block for me, would you?
Yeah, you got to wear this fur coat when you drive it. It's much better that way. You'll feel better about yourself. He plays for the Allentown Jets in 75-76. Now, in 1976, the Philadelphia 76ers of the NBA draft him in the 9th round.
Oh, no.
9th round, 152nd pick overall. And as you know, there's like 12 guys on a whole team.
Right.
So 9th round is pretty
playing.
deep. There's 8 guys ahead of him for like 2 roster spots.
Right.
He doesn't make the team.
No.
He's there. He goes to camp and shit, but it doesn't work out. Doesn't make the team. 75-76, he's in the Eastern Basketball Association playing for the Lancaster Red Roses, which sounds like a really
they're out of team names. They get down that
the
line.
Red okay, I guess.
I am a red rose.
Probably owned by a guy who sells red roses. I own a rose farm. He averages 27.1 points a game here, so I mean he's dominating.
Yeah. Because the coach's kids are the other roster
that's
spots.
The problem.
Right.
Like we can either get the lemonade guy out of the stands. Hey,
they didn't tell you it's a church league. The EBA, the Eastern Basketball. What?
Hot dogs. I'll take a dog and get in there and play small forward. Play the 3 and give me one with crab mustard.
You're out of relish anyway.
Let's
get on
do
the
it.
court. You're useless.
This is only in 17 appearances with Lancaster. He averages that there. He's an all-star in 77 there, but he doesn't get to the all-star game, the EBA or EBL, whatever it is, until the 3rd quarter.
Wow.
He arrives in the 3rd quarter and says, sorry, had a flat tire.
Yeah.
It's the all-star game. You show up a little early. 77-78, more Lancaster Red Roses. This is when they're with the that turned into the CBA, the EBA.
Got it.
78, he's with the Rochester Zeniths.
Hell yeah.
You don't want to be named after a bad television company. That's not great.
And I'm sure they were made in Rochester. That's
Jesus.
why.
And the New York Guard for a while.
Yeah.
Now, 1979... they're talking to him. He's doing a lot of interviews and shit. And he's one of these guys where they're just like, they'll just find him on the playground and be like, Fly Williams, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Why aren't you in the NBA, man?
Why don't you have teeth yet?
No, you still, okay. Well, you got that one. You're holding on strong to that one.
You're polishing
He's
it.
fucking flossing it and shit. He's getting every angle. He's like, oh no, this one's strong.
I'm going to hang on to it.
It's strong. They asked Fly, why? Why no NBA? He says, quote, it's got to be the rep. That's all it can be to me. I can't see anything else. It's got to be my reputation. It's got to be my reputation. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it, man. Apparently he tried out for the Washington Bullets and he got kicked out. He got shit canned out of there. Or no, I'm sorry. That's not the Washington Bullets. That's some shit league Bullets here. And, apparently he got there to this team and he hit a referee in one of the first games he was there and was suspended for 6 games. Yeah. Hit a referee.
Boy.
Can't do that.
No.
Suspended for 6 games for punching a referee. And so, you know, one of the NBA general manager said, quote, we've been watching Fly extra close this year because of that incident, but except for that game he was thrown out of in January, he's been great. They were like, we found him to be a train wreck, but then he's pretty good. He's not bad. He ends up also during this time, he plays a little bit in Anchorage, Alaska as well. He goes up there. He must have been a fucking...
fish out.
They were like, what the
fuck?
shit?
Yeah.
That fuck Northern Exposure. That should have been the show.
Yeah.
Fly Williams in Anchorage. Camera trained on him. Let's see it. That's a mix between Northern Exposure and Live PD.
Yeah.
Let's get it on. It's going to be awesome.
Swatting a palin for trying to fucking...
Fuck yeah. Fuck, you know it.
Leave me alone, lady.
Come on. Just driving Bristol around in his gold Rolls Royce.
Put on this jacket, bitch.
Let's go. Come on now. I'm going to shoot wolves with your mama.
I need another coat.
Oh, man. So he plays for New Jersey. He plays for the New York Gems of the USBL in 86-87. He's playing in Allentown in Pennsylvania through the 80s. The Shore Bullets he plays
he's
for.
hanging on.
The Jersey Shore Bullets they changed their name to.
No.
You want to be more specific.
Yeah.
What shore? But what shore?
What shore?
But which one?
The Shore.
Oh,
the Jersey one.
Oh, now we got it.
All
yeah.
right.
The Shore Bullets. Wow. So, the mid-'80s here, it's not going well for Fly.
No.
It's going bad.
This is depressing as fuck.
CBL in the Eastern League, it's not good on and off to Europe, and he ends up he's back in the playground a lot, too.
Yeah.
Problem is when he gets back in the playground, he's not really playing in these leagues as much anymore, and these leagues are shit. By the way, these leagues he's playing, he's making $75 a night. Yeah. Making no money. This is garbage. This is
not good.
No, he's playing in these leagues as a way to try to get back into some league that pays money, maybe Europe, something like that, but it's just not working out for him. So he ends up, as he puts it, wandering the neighborhood and getting high. That's what he starts doing. That's not good.
Drug addict.
Pretty much. Yeah. He said he hung out in doorways. That's what he said.
That's exactly what that is.
That's exactly what that is. He said he was, quote, I was nowhere, is what he said.
Did he have kids?
Oh, yeah. He's got kids.
God,
we'll talk about those kids.
What is happening?
We'll talk about kids. Please think, Jimmie.
How do you?
He's got all those honeys. What do you think? Nothing's going to slip past the goalie here.
Right.
At one point, at his physical worst, while he's doing so badly with drugs, he is freebasing cocaine at just a remarkable level. Yeah. So much so that he gets his weight down, he claims, to 106 pounds.
That's too small.
He's 6'5".
James, that's way too small.
That's emaciated
that's
to nothing.
Organs and bones.
That's nothing. Yeah. You can't be that small. No. I'm 6'4". I couldn't lose 90 pounds and be okay.
You'd be sick.
I'd be a mess. Yeah, it would not be great.
You get the flu and you die.
I would. That's what I mean. You get the cold.
Right.
The cold. Anything.
You get an ear infection. It's over.
All over for you. But I think freebasing. You never hear about anyone with a bad crack or freebase problem having like an ear infection.
No.
You ever hear about that?
Never.
Ever.
Not even a sinus infection.
Fuck. I mean, say what you will. Say what you will about freebasing cocaine, but it will keep the doctor away. For one thing, it'll bring him in for another different kind of doctor. Will come in for something else, but you're not going to have
infection. Be damned.
Flu?
No, God no.
I freebased it away. Freebasing away the flu. It's the new thing you can do. Freebase away the flu. So he says about it, it was easy for him to do. He says, quote, sometimes I didn't even have to pay for it because everybody knew me. Mm-hmm. It was there in games in the street. I never really even had to purchase it.
He's getting free drugs.
He's a legend on the street. He's the number 2 playground player of all time.
Right.
So people show up to him. It's, oh shit, it's Fly.
Right.
I mean, he's a legend. Period. That's it. I mean, he's people want to be friends with him, and so he doesn't know what to do. He says, they said, well, what'd you do to survive? He said, quote, hustling in the streets, man. I sold sometimes. I did a lot of things to survive and support. I got money from guys I knew in the league. I went on until I got into trouble. We'll talk about that here in a second. So a guy he knows says it got to the point where you knew something was going to happen and it wasn't going to be good. His name was synonymous with drugs, hooliganism, and trouble. But that came years after he was out of the limelight with basketball. No shit. Yeah. I guess he had to have something to hold on to. There were positives he could have really held on to, but he went that other route. He was always our friend, though. We tried to get him to see the light. You know, you know how people get involved in things and you know they shouldn't, but they're basically a good person? That was his case. And that's what I get out of him, too. He's a decent guy, but he's a mess. Yeah. That's just how it works. It's not, nobody says, oh, that Fly is really out there trying to hurt kids or fucking,
just doesn't give a shit about himself.
He's no. He has no sense of tomorrow, of next week, of next hour, of 5 minutes from now. Now 1987 comes around, and this is a day before his birthday in 1987. Yeah. Okay, day before his birthday. No, this is how you want to spend
February 11th.
Yeah, I guess so.
16th, some shit like that.
Something. Yeah, he's in early February. I think his birthday is February 13th.
Got it.
So I think so. Yeah. So it's him, and he's with a 19-year-old named Derek Washington. Here, and he's 34, so this is not great. And okay, now there's an incident. Starts at a basketball game at Starrett City in Brooklyn. Okay, and, before, during, and after the game, I guess Fly was arguing with a coach, a guy named James Ryans, over money that Fly said that Ryans owed him. So he's saying, you're going to pay me my fucking money, you're going to pay me my money all through the game, before the game, after the game, okay? Now, Fly and his 19-year-old buddy Derek Washington, and then the Ryans guy, the coach, James Ryans, and Ryan's 10-year-old son were there. Ryan and Ryans, the Ryans and the 10-year-old son drove off to get the money at Ryan's grandmother's house, okay? So another player there thought there was trouble and he thought maybe the guy was going to go not get money, but get a way to defend himself against Fly.
Right.
So somebody else says, a guy, well, not a guy, but so not somebody else, an off-duty police officer, says that he went and retrieved his service revolver and his shotgun.
Oh, my God.
And he drives to this grandmother's house. Now, at this point, this police officer is Raymond Branch. He's off duty. Branch said that he saw Williams, saw him, and basically Williams saw Branch coming because they were all outside. They all went to the grandmother's house. Williams saw Branch coming, and this officer says that that Fly attacked him with a folding knife. Mm-hmm. He said he attacks him with a folding knife. So Branch says that he fired the shotgun, hitting Washington in the right side of the chest.
Oh, shit.
And Fly in the back.
Oh, my God.
With a shotgun. Fly was taken to Booth Memorial Hospital. Washington went somewhere else here. Fly was in guarded condition in intensive care, while Washington ended up being in stable condition here. This is crazy. He's been shot, seriously fucking wounded, tore up his chest, his lung, into his leg.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Second time he's been shot again. This is fucking crazy. And also, on top of that, Derek Washington and Fly Williams are charged with attempted robbery, unlawful imprisonment, weapons possession, and menacing.
Yeah.
So basically they're saying that Fly said, we're going to go to your grandmother's house and get the money, and dragged him there, and that's sort of a unlawful imprisonment, attempted robbery,
kidnapping.
So now he's shot and fucking in trouble at the same time. Now, this is fucking ridiculous. He said about the money, Fly said, quote, he gave me some of it, but we had an argument over it at the game. We were still going at one another when this guy took it upon himself to shoot me. That's Fly's interpretation of the whole thing.
Came after him with a folding knife, Fly.
That's
like a butterfly knife, or like
he just said a folding knife.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It ended up he loses a lung and a kidney out of this.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And
they're trimming his internals too.
Oh, and half his stomach as well.
May as well. He's got no teeth.
Shotgun. No, I can't eat. This is good for him, actually. He's going to be less hungry now. He said, if it had been 2 inches to the left, I would have been paralyzed, and 2 inches higher, I would have been dead.
What?
Yeah, you got blasted with a shotgun.
It took half your insides out.
Pretty much. It's just, I mean, he weighs even less now. Now he's down to like 101 pounds.
Like 82 pounds.
Fuck, man. It's brutal, man. So, wow, this is fucking crazy. Fly says, quote, this is how he says about it. In his own words. Fuck it. In his own words, I think is appropriate here. In Fly's own words, quote, some other guys got involved. Another friend of ours went home and got a shotgun. They said I tried to rob my friend. I robbed my friend. I had a job then working at Coney Island Hospital. It was just a misunderstanding. They said I came at the guy with a knife. A knife against a shotgun? That's what he said. Yeah, he didn't think that was a good viable story.
The odds, right.
He's like, that's kind of bullshit. Right. So he says the blood filled up in my sneakers so fast.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I had this leather jacket with a coyote on it, and the coyote was on fire.
Wow.
From the shotgun blast. Jesus Christ, his kidneys, all this shit, man.
Oh.
And he's charged with all of this. By the way, he ends up being convicted of the attempted robbery, unlawful imprisonment, and then some. He ends up being sentenced and spending 14 months in Attica.
That's a light sentence, but that's a bad prison.
Yeah, I think they're also like, you have like half your organs are missing. I think that's a sentence enough for you right there.
That's at least 10 years off.
I would say,
and he's going to Attica.
Attica sucks.
It's
yeah, that's
so
not
bad.
great. He says, quote, I ran basketball tournaments inside. He was kind of a celebrity inside. I mean, everyone from New York City knew him, and they all
really missing all your shit.
The guards and inmates asked him for autographs and shit. I mean, it was one of those things. They said somebody said you could have died. He said, quote, I did die. I did. My heart had stopped, but they brought me back. I've seen life and death. After I was shot, I saw light shining above me, and I saw fire below me. There was a tail curling around my leg. I'm serious. The priest in the hospital said it was the devil.
Oh, boy.
Well, it's good for
the priest.
It's good for his sales pitch.
Right.
Well, that devil's down there. You got to watch out for that.
Certainly get some money in the plate this Sunday.
Yeah. Another guy says, I saw the x-rays. Devil tail all the way. No. I saw the x-rays. We started counting the shotgun pellets inside him by the hundreds. It looked like a pepper shaker had spilled.
How close was he?
Very close.
Jesus.
It was extremely. The coyote was on fire on his jacket. That's how close.
He just blasted him like almost point blank. Shotgun. Jesus.
Yeah. So 14 months in prison. Yeah. He said this put a kink in his lifestyle because he was hanging out, doing some fast-paced shit, smoking crack, freebasing. He said he hung out with Luther Vandross and Shaka Khan.
That's rad.
Hanging out with them, yeah. He said that's what turned him into a cokehead, because I started hanging out with all these celebrities, and they all had lots of drugs, and they can afford them, and shit like that, and so it was great. And then he says afterwards he was doing all of this, he was playing basketball and dicking around and freebase, and he says, quote, I really didn't want to work.
No.
Well, no shit.
I wouldn't either.
I don't either. Everybody out there listening, half of you are at your job right now. If it was up to you, would you be there?
You want to work?
Nope.
No.
Well, just go freebase. Knock out all your teeth but one and go freebase in the street. Enjoy. Quote, I really didn't want to work, and it was an easy way out. The first guy was going, drugs were an easy way out. He goes, and it was an easy way out. I started messing around with cocaine and started to go to parties and hanging out. It got to the point where I went over the edge. If it came through here, I was the kingpin, I was the man. So that's what he said. He did everything to excess, is what he was saying.
He really likes being the man.
He likes, that's what I mean. It's about being the man. Yeah. He has, he says he's been, quote, shot 4 times from a 22 to a shotgun, because that was when he was a kid too. Why? Acting crazy. Acting a damn fool.
Because I'm the man.
Because I'm the man.
Everybody wants to take a shot at the man.
Then he says, and I quote, if I said I'd change anything, I'd be lying. That's just me. I had a ball. Fly is fly. That's it. That's his whole fucking thing. Wouldn't change a fucking thing.
Wow.
So at this point, he's sitting in jail with less organs than he should have.
Right.
Many less internal organs, many more shotgun shrapnel than he should have. He's exchanged his kidney for some shrapnel, and he's sitting there and saying that it's just me. Hey, wouldn't change a damn thing. It's crazy, man. By the way, Attica is gross.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen any documentaries on Attica or anything. It is absolutely fucking filthy in there.
It's no good.
It's disgusting. The cells are nasty for a guy who, used to maybe a little bit more of a life, has seen a better lifestyle. He's got on the road.
He had rabbit jackets.
And a Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? He's got honeys, all the fly. He's a bad mamma jamma.
He is.
Instead, he's sitting there and he's like, man, this place could use some sprucing up. And only one man can help him. And that's Dexter Manley, interior decorator from New York City. And he says, how is it you've come to arrive here? Seriously. Oh my God. Yeah. If anybody, listen to me. Okay. Let's start out with freebasing cocaine.
Right.
Freebasing like crazy, like just living in doorways. Is that how you want to do your life, really? Sir, you have one tooth.
Honestly.
One. It's polished. It's lovely. I'm not going to lie. It's lovely, but there's one. You need more than one. That's what I'm saying. You're white trash.
Indeed.
Can I just? You're white trash, sir. I'm sorry. You don't listen. You're proud of it. You're white trash. No, you're not coming in, Vince. I want him. No, he said, I want him. No, you can't have him. I'm sorry. He's mine, Vince. He's mine. I'm coming in. I'm going to have to open the door. I'm sorry. He gets crazy. I don't know.
He tagged in.
I don't know why we're both here. We always come. He comes with me. I don't know. We've become kind of an item. I don't know. Come on in, Vince. Fine. He comes. I love him.
Yeah.
Look at him. No, I know. He's thin. He's not going to be a wrestler.
Right.
He's going to be a manager.
Oh,
fly, yes. And all of your guys, this is what you do, because you need teeth.
Yeah.
You have no teeth,
right.
Fly. You have no teeth. So your guy's going to go out there. He's going to get you some teeth. Go out there and get me some teeth. And the guy's he's going to beat his opponent to a pulp. He's going to stand over him with a pair of pliers.
Yeah.
And he's going to pull out just like a bicuspid, just an incisor. Just something out of each and every one of his opponents till you have a big, beautiful, white, pearly mouth of teeth.
You're running around with apples and you're like, I just want to start it.
It's not a bad idea. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. You need something, okay? Honey, come on. Let's sit down. Let's all talk about it. And then poof, in a puff of, Jesus, 1099s.
1099.
and glitter and boas.
Feather boas.
All sorts of shit. They're both gone.
and
Fly.
extracted teeth.
And Fly's like, can't have teeth, man. I wouldn't be the Fly. But not the teeth. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be the Fly without the teeth. So,
I wouldn't be the Fly if I could start an apple.
If I could eat shit, yeah. If I didn't have to cut an apple up into really tiny pieces.
If I eat applesauce to keep the doctor away.
I also don't. I get the skin off because there's no way for me to puncture that at all either. So he's does 14 months in prison.
Yeah,
and it's enough in Attica. That's plenty for Attica.
Yeah,
and he's released in 1991.
He did the whole sentence.
He did 14 months. Okay. He was sentenced to more. I think he was sentenced to 3 years and did 14 months.
I thought he was 14.
No, he was ended up doing 14 months. I said he was in prison for 14 months.
Mm-hmm.
He's sentenced to more than that. So he ends up participating in the Old Timers Day tournament at the Foster Park. It's hosted by World Be Free.
Yeah.
So it's all the old playground legends, which is it's actually pretty cool in 91.
Really?
That's a big deal. Oh yeah, you're going to get all those old guys coming in. And he showed up with teeth.
What?
He had fucking teeth, man.
How he did that?
Mouthful of pearlies.
What?
Apparently they gave him dentures in prison.
That was nice.
Lenny Dykstra would be pissed right now, by the way. He's like, hold on a second here.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Fly goes to the fucking prison and they give him teeth?
Right.
I go in and they fucking bash him out? God damn it. Lenny, we're going to get you together with Fly, and you guys got to talk about this, of what prisons give teeth and what prisons bash teeth, because this shit is wrong, man.
Not
it's just
fair.
wrong. Yeah. Not fair. So, he comes out with teeth. Everybody said it was fucking amazing.
Incredible.
The Earl the Goat said that you used to see him back in the day and he just have that one tooth, big smile and all happy. He said he came out of jail. He goes, he smiled. It was like a piano.
Yeah.
He said it was like a piano. He looked like Magic Johnson, he said. Big old fucking smile of pearly whites.
The guy I knew in high school who had the meth mouth, he used to cover his mouth and shake his head really fast when he would laugh.
Like a Japanese girl?
Yeah. And then he
like
dated
a young Japanese girl.
And then he dated
So she say like that? That's not a Japanese impression. That is how Japanese girls laugh.
So then
I've known Japanese girls. They laugh like that.
He dated a girl whose mom worked for like a dental hygienist or whatever, and they got him a great deal on teeth, and then they fixed his whole fucking mouth, and then he smiled at me one day, and I was like, he looked like The Mask. He looked like Jim Carrey in The Mask, and I was just like, that. Can you just cover those? That doesn't look
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's
even weirder.
Yes, I'd rather see meth mouth.
Good God.
That is bizarre how perfect those are.
And they're like the what's his name? Buddy Ryan, not Buddy Ryan, the Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan?
Yeah, the old Jets coach with the big stupid fucking
exactly. It's so weird.
Like,
they're all square, perfect line down the middle. It's like, how the fuck did you get those? Aren't real, motherfucker. We know.
You're not a model.
We see it.
Yeah. Christ. What a disaster.
It's hysterical.
So
you feel great for him, but you feel bad for him
at the same time. Well, people that just meet him, they're just going to think, this guy's got great. What a great
motherfucker been brushing.
Great teeth on him, man. Jesus Christ. He's flossing. Water pick. It's got to be a water pick, right? Has to be.
Is that a Quip toothbrush?
No way.
Is that what you're using?
Only a Quip could get the teeth that clean. That's what it is here. So Fly gets out.
Yeah.
He's out of prison. He's doing his thing. There's like positive press on him. He's playing in the playground games, and he's got his life back together. And he's not wandering around freebasing all the time. That doesn't seem to be it. He seems to be pretty clean. He's his parole officer. He gets off of parole even, and his parole officer clears him as a rehabilitated person.
Shit, yeah.
Magic Johnson teeth. Things are going great. Okay. Then one night in 1993, things go not so great.
Oh, no.
When narcotics officers break down his door and search his home, and they find $265,000 in cash.
Oh, that's drugs.
Which is more than he made ever in his whole career.
Right.
So it's definitely not like, I saved my money.
Right.
No.
I am really good at saving.
And I just keep it in my shoebox.
Right.
In cash. Right. Along with drugs as well.
Of
course. And they had been watching him, and he was...
Right.
He's selling fucking drugs.
Yeah.
He this time here... Ooh, this is rough. They take him to court on its drug trafficking, the whole deal. He gets sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 4.5 to 9 years in Attica.
God, Jesus.
Yikes. That's
they really
brutal.
don't like him.
No, he's going back to Attica. But fresh set of teeth like nobody's business.
But he's also a hero in there, so they're going to treat him great.
He is treated well in Attica, though. That's the thing, because he is a playground legend. Anybody from New York City knows who fucking Fly Williams is, and he has respect. I mean, that's just the way it is. He says, quote, but still doesn't make prison any better just because people are nice to you.
Right.
I mean, fuck. I don't care how nice.
Stabbed tonight.
Yeah,
Dude,
great.
It still sucks.
Well, thank you for not raping me. I guess I'll go into my dank, shitty cell and sit here with nowhere to go and fucking not see my family and everything. Wonderful. But I do appreciate the no rape, though. That is helpful.
I do appreciate it.
It's helpful. It's not good, but it's helpful.
And the sleep is a little more comfortable.
You know.
Slightly.
He says, quote, Attica is hell. Birds don't even fly over that place.
Wow.
So
that is a great statement.
It's a great, that's a great fucking
Birds
quote, man.
Skip that fly zone.
They don't even, it's a no-fly zone.
Pigeons won't fly over here.
No. So he does his time, and when he gets out of prison, he does about 4 years, and he gets out of prison, and fluff pieces abound later on, 98, 99, and then later on, 2008, 2009 especially.
Really?
Oh, baby, the fluff pieces come. He says that his incarceration, his life changed. He said, I went to prison and really woke up. He went to drug rehab, started talking to the young men in the prison, telling them to stay out of the streets and stay out of the gangs, stay off drugs.
Yeah.
He did 3.5 years of his sentence, and he said, quote, basically, what I did was start a drug program. I gave a lot of seminars and talked to some of the young guys. So that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
He gets out of prison and teams up with Earl the Goat there, and a couple other of the people who are sponsoring this sort of thing, and they form the Reality Check Foundation.
Oh boy!
It's a project that he works on every day. He says, quote, life's been good after prison. He's got a wife named Carol. He's got children that live with him here. He's got another child we'll talk about. Yeah. He's got a junior, Jimmy.
Of course he does.
He's got a junior, as you might know.
Isn't it fascinating how drugs pay so well until you get caught, and then you're like, I can't go back for the same charges. I'll get in a lot of trouble. Which other way of drugs pays also well? Keeping kids off them.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't pay well. That's the only job I can get.
Pays enough to keep them straight, keeps them
also,
out of prison.
If you have a prison record and you go for a drug prison record and you go for jobs, there's really only one job that you're going to be you could know to talk to kids to not do drugs.
Right.
Other than that, we don't trust you.
How shitty your life is. Right.
Other than that, we don't trust you with things. So yeah, he said life's been good after prison. He's got 2 kids here, Jeffrey and Shanae. Yeah. He says, quote, I'm just living for the kids today and raising funds for the foundation. Every day I'm hearing from someone who wants to help me. Mm-hmm. It's all what he's all about. 1998, he takes on a summer basketball tournament program, the James Fly Williams Invitational. He says, I invite all the kids in the city from all the schools, from elementary to junior high to high school. I want all the kids who are not playing much on their team to come. We started on the 4th of July, and we had a barbecue and free food, and we played basketball from sunrise to sundown. I just went out and raised the money.
That sounds fucking exhausting.
That sounds terrible.
Sun up to sundown?
Ooh,
no.
Boy. Wow. I mean, I don't think you'd play in every game.
Play a 15 game, would you?
It's a lot of tournament.
For a little bit.
Yeah, we'll play to 10 and then we'll play to 11.
Well,
we'll do 11 and then that's it.
No, maybe we'll run it back if we've still got knees.
It could be fun.
I'll bet I don't.
I mean, might go quick. You never know. Someone could get hot. It could go real fast. He said he puts a suit on every day and goes out fundraising for the foundation. He says that he's good friend. He's friends with Mike Tyson. Oh. He's going to ask him for a donation. They're both from Brownsville. Okay. He's going to ask Mike Tyson for a donation. He's also going to see if he can get a hold of Bob Costas and get a donation from him. And he says it in the paper, so they're on blast ahead of time. See if Bob Costas wants to make a donation.
You know, these 2 guys that I've met a long time ago that have a shit pile of money.
Yeah,
and can donate.
I know a couple.
Yeah.
How's Marvin? Oh, no, not at all. Marvin Barnes is doing bad. He says that, he's in the playground, he's in the offices, and just, he says, quote, I go out in a suit every day and hit the streets and beat on doors. That's all he's doing. And he also, he calls games too as a referee, in college. I call games on the NAIA college level. I'm trying to get into the big schools, and I will someday. He wants to be like a big time college ref, apparently. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting that he wants to be a ref of all people.
In his 60s?
What happens if someone falls down and...
Right.
Well, he's only He's only in his 40s at this point. He's like
that's
44. Yeah. You can do it.
How great would it be if somebody lays down on a ball and he has to call that
just
game?
To kick him?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
That's my trick.
This is shitty. God damn it. He says, quote, you have to take the good with the bad. I know that. Some of my friends, my family, they don't understand that. Maybe I can help someone.
Yeah.
All this stuff has happened. All this is a part of the story, and now I'm trying to add to it. I try to talk to some of the neighborhood kids, get them doing good. I'm putting the negatives behind me now. I'm trying to give something positive to kids, maybe even tell them a story. Maybe they can learn from it. He says, I'll be 45 on February 18th. I'm getting there, huh? No one would have believed it. Yeah. So that's what he's trying to do. In 2000, his son, Fly Williams III, that's why I think he's a junior.
God.
Fly, and on
that's his son.
On IMDb, he is Fly Williams III.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah.
So that is him. He starts getting acting roles in this. Really? He's in Finding Forrester.
Really?
Remember Finding Forrester? Yeah. He plays a guy named Fly.
Really?
In Finding Forrester in 2000.
The guy, Forrest Whitaker's in that?
I want to say he is, but then I think that it's only because it's Finding Forrester. And I'm thinking of Forrest Whitaker.
I see Forrest in there.
But I see him.
I see him in it.
I see him.
Yeah.
So
it's probably not.
He's on an episode of Law and Order as well. So that's when you start getting those acting roles. You get guest spots on Law and Order. Right. He's in episode 2001 called Who Let the Dogs Out.
No.
He's then next year. He must have done well because in the next year he's on Law and Order Criminal Intent.
They like
that
him
season. So yeah, he's there. He's on Third Watch.
That's a big show.
TV show. Yeah. Third Watch there. And a couple of years go by with nothing. And he's in a movie called Freedom Land. He's in a TV show called Conviction. This is where he's being billed as James Fly Williams III here. Also, he's in a couple of shorts and shit like that.
Why is he going by Fly? Don't take your dad's thing.
He's taking the whole thing. Now, from 2009 to 2017, you don't see a lot of action.
No.
Actually, none.
Yeah.
In 2017, he's in a movie called Dope Fiend. But from 2009 to 2017, nothing on IMDb. And let's find out why.
Oh, no.
We'll find out why in a few minutes here. But yeah, so that's his son. February of 2009 comes around. Man, he's a beloved member of the community. Yeah. He's helping kids.
Right.
He's doing great.
Banging on doors, James.
Banging on doors, putting a suit on, calling Mike Tyson, saying, Bob Costas, get your cheap ass over here, give me a donation.
Come here, you cheap fuck.
Come here, you cheap bastard. In February 2009, Austin P decides to retire his jersey. So
how fucking bleak.
They retire his jersey. The president explains that there's a new administration here, and we have different views on, whether someone graduated and all this for retirement. Basically, if a guy was here, he's a great player, we want to celebrate it.
Right.
And we're going to celebrate. Basically, we have nothing else to talk about. We don't have shit. All right, let's retire.
Somebody say Austin P in the newspaper.
We might get a sellout out of this. We're trying. So, yeah, he's his college jersey is retired, which is pretty cool. It's retired at the halftime of the Austin P and University of Tennessee Martin. I don't know what the fuck that is. So they focused on his career there. There's also a book coming out that year called Fly 35.
Oh, okay.
Said he wants to be, out there. It's authored by a guy named Dave Link, by the way. That's out there. I didn't read that one. Now, a couple others, but not that one, because it's a little too fly heavy. It's a little too much him on him.
Right.
So
sounds
the
like
other way.
It's a self-fillet book.
Kind of. Yeah. Well, especially later on, you'll see why it didn't matter, because it's all bullshit anyway. So, so it doesn't matter here at all. So he ends up, like I said, his jersey's retired. May 3rd, 2017. Okay. Now, beginning on October 24th, 2016, so 6 months before this or so, the district attorney in Brooklyn has been using various forms of surveillance to keep tabs on what he calls, quote, the Williams heroin trafficking operation.
Oh, shit.
This is what he's been doing.
He's in heroin now.
This is what he's actually been doing.
Yeah.
He might have been doing the other shit too, but he's also doing this. This included a series of monthly undercover buys, 6 such meetings. Williams and 3 others allegedly, quote, agreed to and expected to sell 1.5 kilograms of heroin to an undercover buyer. That deal didn't take place. Instead, the DA arrested people. They arrest 21 people in all, including James Jr., including Fly the Third, which is
2017.
2017, right after he was in a movie called Dope Fiend.
Right.
So interesting, because they probably filmed it in 2016.
Hilarious.
Also, his stepson that we talked about, Jeffrey. He had Jeffrey in that one. Jeffrey Doobie Britt is his name. He's also involved in the ring.
Damn it, Doobie.
So you want to involve your kids in your heroin trafficking.
Right.
Okay. This is what I don't understand.
Yeah.
If you traffic heroin, you want to traffic heroin so your kids don't have to traffic heroin.
Right.
That's why you do that.
Right.
That's why you do it. This makes no sense at all. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's unbelievable.
This is why, like, Joe Kennedy told John Kennedy, we want you to be a fucking politician,
right.
and he's going to go to law school because I ran liquor.
Right.
So you fucking idiots could do that.
And I sell it out of speakeasies that I fucking don't have anything to do with to keep the money funneled to somewhere clean, and you fucks keep advancing in life.
Go,
right?
stupid, yeah.
Right, go be great.
It's the Godfather
Go
scenario.
make us a bunch of money and keep clear of it.
It's the Godfather scenario. This one's smart. Keep him away from it, all that sort of shit. So... Nope, get him right into it here.
He's dumb.
So, yeah, they said that the DA alleges the drug ring earned more than $21 million across Brooklyn while under investigation for 6 months.
In 6 months, they made $21 million.
He's in a fourth-floor apartment, Fly is, in Jamaica, Queens, where he lived for 12 years.
Wow.
So he just kept a low profile. He knew how to do it.
Yep.
According to the criminal complaint, police recovered a loaded firearm from the scene here. Also, 32 glassines of heroin. There's little plastic bags, which are like, little nickel dimes
ready to be sold.
of heroin. Oh, yeah, this is street-ready sales on the premises, in addition to all the other shit. He's initially arrested on 6 felony charges, most serious among them being criminal sale of a controlled substance. Him and his 3 partners they're arrested. This is a huge drug bust. They ended up getting $500,000 worth of heroin, $185,000 in cash, bunch of guns, all this type of shit. Yeah. Typical heroin ring shit here. They said this is fucking interesting here. Now, keep this name in mind. The gang's main distributor, as they put it in the complaint, Richard Cristiano Rivera, a 45-year-old, supplied drugs to a Johnny Martinez Cintrone, who packaged them and then sent them to Fly's stepson, Jeffrey Britt, who then passed and then he would be the guy who would distribute it to street level. Right. He would pass it out to the dealers. So he was basically, he was the, like in The Wire, if we're going to use a Wire scenario, he's the D'Angelo in the first season, the stepson from the low rises there. Okay. He's the one, he's putting it out, telling them and doing all that shit. Or actually, no, he would be more like I guess in the early seasons, he'd be more like the Stringer Bell. No, he's not dropping it off, though. Monk was the one dropping shit off. He's one of these middle guys who drops shit. Yeah, never mind. So the drugs were distributed, heroin was distributed across the city in Pringles canisters, water bottles, and Mountain Dew cans that had been fitted with secret compartments.
Brilliant.
They're using false bottom Pringle canisters and like Mountain Dew.
17-year-old kids.
Does it say like your aunt gives you when you're 14? Whatever. That's
hide your weed from your
hilarious. That never works. The NYPD deputy fucking
it says
idiots.
Mountain Dew, but there's no N.
There's no N, and
Mountain Dew.
Why is it weird? The weight is all wrong.
Why is the middle fucking so flimsy?
Christ, man. What happened here? Why is it feels odd?
This says Priggles.
I shake it. There's no liquid, but it does. Do just hear a baggie going back and forth. So, wow, this is fucking crazy. That's the NYPD deputy chief here said, quote, their packaging process gave them a false impression that they were distributing their product in a stealthy manner. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they were really going out of their way to do it. So they said that his son, Fly Jr. here, sold about $30,000 worth of heroin a week in the streets near Brownsville, near the recreation center, where he was often seen mentoring high school students.
Oh, Jesus.
So they were going there. Mm-hmm. He would go there basically, I feel like the kids thing was almost to scout good heroin selling areas or some shit. It's fucking crazy.
Or you got to know which kids are doing it and which kids are not.
Yeah, we'll go mentor the good ones and give heroin to the bad ones. Like, what the fuck is that? I guess then they said Fly would get his cut of the money from his stepson, and then he'd pass it over to a Lisette baby girl Kelly, who was his girlfriend and the drug ring's financial manager.
Yeah.
They have you gotta have a corporate setup.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're not good at math.
Their CFO is baby girl.
Flyer and his son aren't good at math, so they're like, we're going to get a woman in here to do the math. I feel like she's more dependable. They bring baby girl in here to do that. So they said between January and April, investigators estimate that Fly's dealers pushed more than 2 million packets of heroin into the street.
To make $21 million.
2 million.
Oh, boy.
Holy shit, that's a lot of heroin.
Who were they supplying? Like Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Junkies, man.
That is a
so
lot.
Many junkies out there now.
2 million.
Dude, and in New York, because in New York you get these drug spots where you have the whole neighborhood and the whole area, but then you have people that come from everywhere else and know that's a drug spot.
Right.
So you get people from the burbs will come in and
2 million, James.
2 million. 2 million.
Selling $21 million worth of... How do you still need to work?
Still do. Well, you're
fucking idiots.
Maybe you're probably not saving it. I
Yeah,
don't think
but I
drug
don't need-
dealers are not good at that shit.
I can't imagine they get to keep $21 million.
No. Well, that's what they made. That's their gross.
Right.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of expenses
their net
in that.
of that is low, but
that's good.
it's
still a few $million.
$5-10 million, I'm sure.
They called it the investigation Operation Flying High.
Yeah. Smart.
High. Yeah.
Well done.
So, they said that a community in September 6th in 2016, a community member tipped off authorities.
Oh, you bastard.
Some nosy fuck made a phone call and it turned into this. So, they said that Williams, his son Britt, and Martinez, and Rivera, the guy we said to remember that name, they face maximum sentence of 25 years.
Wow.
No fucking around. 25 years in Attica.
Oh boy!
Wow. Also arrested are accused local distributors. They say in the paper: Latoya Mark, Mike Roseborough, Mike.
God damn.
Marlon Campbell, Maurice Mojo McGee.
Hell yeah.
He's a bad mamma jamma.
I like that.
Charles Lightmore.
Well, they all got great nicknames except for that guy.
Charles Rav Morgan. Rav. Right. It's 3 letters though. Tyrone Mo Munford and also his son. Yeah. There. The other people. Also tons of other charges that end up coming along. They think that Fly is the kingpin. That's the whole thing. Fly's the guy they say that's making the most money. He appeals he goes to court for a pretrial hearing. He's been in Rikers Island for months, held without bail. Here. He's in there. Jesus Christ. He's very thin. They say when they arrested him, he weighed about 160 pounds.
Oh shit.
Which is not good. He's not like he's running up and down the court all day long. They said, he has no afro, or his fro and his burns are gone, but what are you going to do there?
Oh boy.
Jesus Christ. So, his lawyer requested bail be set. She said that the phone calls made by Fly, recorded by the DA, he didn't use violent language or discuss things with co-defendants.
Right.
They said, what the hell? The criminal indictment references several tape conversations that contradict her argument, though. The assistant DA read from the recordings.
Oh, no.
He said, here's one. Oh, Jesus.
This is gonna be so damning.
This is a quote from Fly.
Yeah.
This is never good.
No.
This is Assistant DA Robert Basso. He says, quote, "They know I'll shoot that gun too. You're not going to sell dope on this corner when I'm on this corner."
Oh no.
That sounds like drug dealer talk. You come on my corner, I'll shoot you. That's just
get off my block. This is my spot. It's ruthless.
That's what I'm saying.
So he led with a fucking
that's not great.
Big
So
stick.
they were like, then he just shrugged like,
put him away, shall we?
What do you think here? So they sent him back to Rikers till December. After that, they said he's going to go back in for months. He declined to be interviewed by the paper or anything like that. He does plead not guilty in June to all the charges here. Now, Jesus Christ, the Rivera guy, Richard Cristiano Rivera. Okay, this guy is 45 years old. He faces 25 years to life in prison. And he's of conspiracy he's accused of. His lawyer, though, maintained through the entire thing. He was a guy right from the beginning, didn't say, I didn't do this. His defense was, I'm not that guy. I'm a different guy. Yeah. You have the wrong man. You have arrested the wrong fucking person.
No way.
I'm a different guy named fucking Richard Rivera. Not me.
Right.
I'm a normal guy. I do not sell heroin. Yeah, I don't sell heroin. Yeah, not Ron Rivera. I'm Cristiano. Right. Cristiano Rivera. He says, I'm not me. dude. What the fuck? He's held on $250,000 bail. Finally, after months of being in Rikers Island, held on a high bail that he can't get, saying it's not fucking me, they finally go, oh, that's not him. They arrested the wrong man.
Wow.
They arrested the wrong Richard Rivera.
Wow.
And you should see the look on his face in court. Everybody else is like, got this look like, yeah, get it over with me. He's got this look like, this is insane. Who's going to know? They're looking at papers right now. Someone's going to notice this, right? It's not me, right?
I'm not the 10-fingered man.
Hey, not me. Not him.
Right.
Absolutely not him.
Poor
they
bastard.
dismissed all the charges against him. They now agreed to release him on his own recognizance. They were apologized to him. I don't know how that turned out.
Oh, God, I hope he sued the balls off him.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. His lawyer said this guy was once charged as a kingpin in a heroin trafficking organization. Today, he's a free man through large part of the efforts of the detectives and district attorneys of the Kings County. They should have never arrested him to begin with.
He was arrested through large part of the Kings County.
Why would they arrest this man?
Poor bastard.
Jesus H. Christ. The guy's a fucking... Are you joking?
Did they get the real guy?
No, I don't know if they ever found the real guy or not. But it's
poor bastard.
Crazy. And the trial, or there's been no plea yet. I don't know what's Fly is
Today?
still there. This was a year and a half ago.
Wow.
Or 2.5 years ago, and it's still being processed. These huge drug cases take a lot because they're trying to tie in other people.
Right.
They basically want to bring 100 people into court at the same time and get it all over with at once. So these take a long time to put together. And
he's facing 25, so 2.5 ain't nothing.
He's got time, but he's getting older, man. He's in his 60s right now.
Wow.
I mean, he's tough life for Fly fucking Williams. I mean, why? Well, I mean, that's what it's all those fluff pieces. All the while he's got a heroin ring going on with his sons and everything else, selling heroin where they recruit kids.
$1 million worth of heroin in 6 months.
In 6 months.
Wow.
That's just what they do in 6 months. So
much.
I mean, that's over time.
Why are we busting our balls with this, James?
I don't know. I stayed up all night doing all this research. I should sell heroin because
this is crazy.
This is nuts, Jimmy.
At least you'll get free teeth.
All right, next week, heroin and free teeth. That's the subject of the show. If you need heroin, you can get a hold of Jimmie or I. Otherwise, don't do that. Can't get enough of James Fly Williams? I kind of can't.
No.
I kind of want more. Well, you can get a fucking awesome jersey of his on eBay. The buy it now is $26.48.
That's easy.
It's amazing. It's a Fly Williams 35 Spirits of St. Louis with that cool plane jersey. Jimmie, the best part.
The biplane?
Yeah, look at the back of it. It says Fly on the back.
Get the fuck out. It doesn't even say Williams.
It never said Williams on his jersey.
It
said Fly on his jersey.
That's the coolest
his fucking
thing.
jersey says Fly on it, guys.
That's so rad.
That's dope as shit.
Yeah.
Check that out. Buy that jersey. Like it's $26.48. I don't know what the shipping is on it.
That should be gone right now.
It's
on eBay?
It's on eBay, right? 7 available. All different sizes. Any size, they say here. So get those.
You wear a large.
Yeah, I wear a large. Those are fucking awesome. Also, I have a sweet Marvin Barnes jersey.
Yes, you do.
Which is great. It's amazing.
From the hot dogs.
Yeah. No, I have Billy Ray Bates too.
Billy Ray Bates, yeah.
Busby sent me the great tender juicy hot dogs Billy Ray Bates Philippines jersey.
So awesome.
And I have the ABA All-Star Marvin Barnes jersey.
Really?
Which is fucking dope. Yeah, you remember
the
that?
ABA one?
Yeah,
that's
remember that?
So rad.
It's fucking sick.
The All-Star jersey.
It's amazing.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's amazing. We were sent to us.
Who sent it?
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, also buy loose balls.
Yes.
That sounds weird. Buy loose balls, everybody.
We'll just age into them.
Yeah. If you're interested in the ABA, just hearing crazy stories about the 70s, just basically, if you want to hear crazy stories that all have giant afros, that's the book for you. There's all sorts of cool, crazy stories. If you like old sports at all,
and that's not even racist because the white guys had them too.
That's what I mean. Big giant. Everyone had a big.
Everybody had a huge afro.
Every guy, white guys, black guys, didn't fucking matter. You just had to have as big a hair as you can get. That's all it was. Also, Heaven is a Playground is the book that was written that was kind of introduced him to the world, and then they made a movie out of it later. It's like a fictionalized deal there. Also, The Fly 35 by Dave Link came out there, and lots of stuff from Jesus Christ. This one had from those books all sorts of shit from like New York Times in there, and
it's not over
all
yet.
Sorts of shit. It's not over yet. No. We will get a Fly update at some point, but Fly is absolutely in deep shit at the moment. That heroin ring is I mean, they're up for some serious prosecution here. And that is that for Fly Williams. And like I said, if you want a companion piece to this, really good thing would be go back and listen to Marvin Barnes. Now, the audio quality isn't as good as these because for the first 47 episodes, we didn't have a studio. We just did it. We had a kitchen and we had bad sound equipment. It doesn't sound terrible. It's just low. It's just a little bit lower. It's not quite as the depth isn't there as much, but it's not like it's like it's not there's none of that shit or anything like
scratchy.
that. Definitely listenable. Just if you're working like in a heavy machinery yard, you might not be able to hear it. But if you're sitting at home doing something, might be the thing to do. But Marvin Barnes gives you a lot of background on the whole ABA and the spirits. And also listen to that and then imagine those two on the same team at the same time with one selling coke for the other or to the other one.
Oh boy.
It's fucking insane. So yeah, check that out. And if you like that story, I know what you can do, damn it. You can go ahead and get on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, the purple icon, whatever the shit that thing is. Give us a review. 5 stars would be lovely. Doesn't matter what you say at all. You can say anything you want. You can say, what? Say anything, Jimmy.
Well, just say anything.
There
say
you
that.
go. Say anything. Just say anything.
Say Happy New Year.
Say I
Merry Christmas.
bought $21 million worth of heroin off these guys in the last 6 months. It doesn't fucking matter.
Say stop elevating your food.
Stop elevating shit. Either way, stop elevating your goddamn food. Do that. Give us 5 stars. Like I said, doesn't matter what you say. Also, get on shutupandgivememurder.com. You want to go there for everything crime and sports and small town murder. Please listen to Small Town Murder, because if you don't, you're missing out. That's on you. You will be. We're making the show, so we know it's funny. You need to check it out and do that. All sorts of stuff there. New merchandise popping up all the time, but especially tickets to live shows. Our first few here, Denver and Salt Lake, are both sold out. Later on in February, though, the 15th and 16th, we're going to be in Indianapolis and then Louisville. Get those tickets right now.
Right next to each other. Let's go.
Let's do it. After that, we're in San Francisco in March, and then we go to the Midwest, Detroit. Come on. We know you guys in Detroit are awesome, so we can't wait to see everybody everywhere. Yeah, lots of shows are selling out, so good luck if you want to go to like Seattle or
and goddamn it, listen to me very carefully right now. When you buy tickets, go to our website and click buy links there. Do not go to Google and search. Don't buy
shut up and give me murder.com. Go there. It'll take you to the correct place that sells the tickets for the right price with not the crazy bullshit.
Buy them at our website.
Buy them
where
there.
The tickets are priced the right way.
And if you have any questions about the ticket, don't hesitate to ask the venue. Do not ask. We're not.
Shit.
People ask us, does this place have? We don't know. We're not there.
Idea.
I'm not in. Let's look at that. I am not in at the Joy in New Orleans. I have no fucking idea what they do, who they are, how they do things. I've never been to the San Jose Improv. I don't know. So I don't know. Even if we have been there, we don't know the policies.
I don't know shit about their corporate policy.
I've been to the Fillmore in Philly. We played it last year. It was wonderful, but I don't know their shit. If you have any questions, ask them, and not because we don't want to hear from you. We love hearing from you, but we can't help you.
I don't know the answer.
If you ask us, literally our answer is going to be call the venue.
I don't want to.
That's the answer to any question.
There is nothing that I hate more than saying I don't know, and I say it a lot in my life. I don't want to say it more.
We know the date. We know the time, and we know the venue. Other than that, you know as much as us. We know nothing, and then we provide the show, and everything else goes on.
Other than that, you still know way more than me because that's where you live.
That's the thing. Yeah, we don't know shit about where you are, and we know everyone will have chairs. That's it. Other than that, we have no idea. Clue. So any question, just contact the venue. I'm sure box offices are usually great. They're glad to help you out. They want to sell tickets, so they're happy to help you do that.
They want you to come to the show as much as we do.
That's
as much
the thing.
As you do.
As much as you do. So do that. Get your tickets. We can't wait to see everybody out there. And also, if you want to be just also social media, actually. Follow us on social media. You can do that at Crime and Sports on Facebook and Twitter, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. And please follow us because you get anything we pop up with a new show. If we have a different, like an added, because there's going to be a couple cities added to this tour. You'll know it first on social media. It'll come out before it's on the show there. So do that. Shutupandgivememurder.com also. And not only that, I think if you want to be an extra large hero, if you want to be a producer, guys, these are the people, they matter. They're producers.
They change our lives.
We don't say that shit lightly. Like, I'm a producer. Just call them a producer. Like, they're really producers. We really feel like that.
You genuinely produce this fucking show.
Making it fucking happen. Yeah. You noticed, did you hear any ads this week? I didn't hear any ads this week. That's because there are no ads on the show this week, and this show is for you guys. So, Happy New Year. You know what I mean? So, if you want to be a producer, one of our favorite people, you can do that so easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or head over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com, and you can be one of our producers. And by the way, if you're on Patreon, it's $5 or above. Right. You get bonus episodes. Right. We put out a bonus Small Town Murder. It's going to be at least once a month if not twice a month in the coming year. Mm-hmm. And also, we're going to try to throw a little crime and sports content on there.
Fun.
A couple of these like smaller stories that don't quite warrant 2 hours of an episode, but let's bust 45 out and give a little bonus episode and make fun of somebody. So we're going to do a lot with that. That's on our Patreon. Now, there are some people here who will be listening to all that content because they've been so wonderful to us.
Yes.
And I think that there's no other time but the present to hear about my favorite people, Jimmie. Just dunk them on me, rain them upon me like teeth that have fallen from my basketball star head.
By cuspids.
Let's do it.
This week's executive producers are Tyra Cates, Gary Howard, Mike Eitelag, I think, Brent Keister, Carrie Clark, Emily Togney, Dennis Prater, Brittany Helm, Tanya Volanek, Michael Dunbar, John Taylor, and Jordan Bennett. You guys don't know what to do for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everything this entire year, guys.
Truly.
Thank you.
Other producers this week are Debbie Chapman, Gemma Bowman, Azul Amil, Temri Iverson. I'm sure I got that wrong. Thomas Lovedahl, which is really unbelievable. You poor bastard, Tommy.
It's a Thomas Lovedahl. Comes with an erect penis. Thomas is always in the mood.
Unreal. Poor fuck. Jacob Pilkington, Dana Barry, Brandon Schmalls, Dana Barry. Oh, Barrett. No, not Dana Barrett. Is that a person? What is that name?
I think that's Sigourney Weaver in Ghostbusters.
You're probably right.
Mistaken.
And Andrew Cricketmore? No, Crickmore. Crickmore. That's bizarre. Yeah. Amanda with no last name. Justin Brooks, Lori Jackson, March Wilkins, Charlie and Sarah Spence, I imagine, because it said Charlie Sarah Spence. I think it's Charlie and Sarah. I think
he's got an unusual middle name.
Or she does.
Or she has an unusual first name.
Right. Heather Monday, Nicole Coons, Austin Olson, Jesse Thibodeau, Sarah Hargrove, Lisa Cox, Ree Hempsall, Dane Arias, Amber Daryl, I think it's Daryl, Sam Metz, Jim Shaughnessy, or Shaughnessy, I think it's Shaughnessy, James Redden, Jessica McPhee, Mary Carmody Trotman, Heather Bishop, Kendra Smith, and she donated both ways. Thank you, Kendra.
Thank you.
Mark with no last name with a C, that specifies it a little more. Mia Lombardo, Jessica Wilkowski, Amy Mathis, Kimmy Novak, Laura Maines, Caitlin Joyner Danziger, Thomas with no last name, is that Hilda T? What did I do? Hilda?
What have you done, Jimmie?
TJ?
What have you done?
I think that's right. I don't think so. Holly Webb, Andrew Ristubin, Laura Mead, Timothy Foote, Dylan Leahy, Julia L., Candy Fagan, Caitlin Morgan, Jody Ash, Heather Dustman, Emily Richardson, Jeff Newman, not Jeffman New. Raymond, Ryan.
Man, he's new.
Ryan Sim, Wesley Coast, Cody Laversi. That guy's fantastic. He's from, I think he's in the Midwest somewhere. Detroit, maybe? He drives a Jeep. That's all I know.
Hey.
Linda Fitch, Rusty Poorboy, Alexandria Frazier, Anne Goyette, Max Alberts, Lauren Demarath, Mary Hemphill, Abby Siegel, Dale Ashburn, Jay Lafreniere. Nope. TJ Mack, thank you very much for everything you did for us this year. She donated both ways.
We'll see you soon, TJ.
Yes, can't wait. Jesse Hartman, Beth Nissonger, Michael Wazowski, Liz Vasquez. Again, somebody else.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We have so many people.
Everything.
I don't want to miss anybody.
For real.
So many.
Peyton Meadows, again. Susanna Pratt.
Yeah, these are
you guys are so nice. Thank you,
guys.
Jenny Jekyll, Ashley with no last name, and a I, not a Y. That specifies a little more. Catherine Lauren with a Y, that specifies it with no last name. Kevin Lassen, Heather Loeffler, she's donated a bunch of times too. Rebecca Young, Ryan Schlossel, Zach Lee.
We don't deserve you, goddamn people.
Truly. Robin Anderson, and she sent us a gift. Thank you so much, Robin. We got that in the mail.
Yeah, thank you, by the way, just before you go on. Thank you guys so much in the shouts for all the gifts we got for the holidays.
Honestly.
We got so much.
Jaybird Wedbetter sent me a... Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's a fucking switchblade.
That's a switchblade.
That's illegal.
You made all sorts of weird audio things happen with that.
Thank you all so
cool
much.
T-shirt he sent me with some stickers too.
The whiskey, the jerseys from Fuller, the things you guys send us.
Jason Fuller, the Jim Cornette book.
Unbelievable.
Thank you so much, Jason. That is so cool. I'm going to send you a message, but I just want to say it on the air too. Really cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Jeremiah Bueller, Ryan Black, Trey Volkanar. I said that he's donated a bunch of times too.
Yeah.
Kelly Peterson, Robert Sukach, cool. Amber Lobb, Angelina Hever, Michael Warwick, Lauren Jerkowski, and Ashley Vio from the beginning. You guys, all of our Patreon supporters, you guys do so much for us, and we can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for everything. Honestly, we can't tell you. We say it every week, but we really can't express to you. That's why we stumble over our words here, because there's no way to express it. How do you express?
I went to the dentist last week because of you people.
How do you express change our lives more than fucking that? Like it gets repetitive. It gets redundant to say how amazing you guys are and how much what you do for us changes our lives. So thank you for that. We hope we can just not change your lives, obviously, with a fucking comedy podcast. But if we can get you through work, cool. If you're having a rough patch and some laughs might help, fucking awesome. We're here for you.
Thanks for spending the time.
Shit, you guys help us through rough patches just as much. And Jimmy, what if someone wanted to tell you about their rough patch? How could they do that?
You can find me at Whisman
tell me about your rough patch.
Whisman sucks. WHISMAN sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Find me there and tell me all about all the roughest of patches. What about you?
You can find me at Jimmie P is funny, or just copy and paste my name from the show description. Make it easier on yourself. Just search that way. But find us there. Do that. Listen to more shows. We'll be back next week, everybody, of course, in 2020. And we are going to be, like I said, at least the next 2 more years with Crime and Sports. So you can't stop us, God damn it. And with that said, live from the Crime and Sports studios, we will see you next week, everybody. If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus